Hey, what's going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday, April 16th, 2024, and we're back. And it's great to be back with you guys. I appreciate you guys joining me today. Excuse me. As I read the title, it says, Where is Sebastian Rogers? That's the question of the year, folks. We've all wanted to know that. We're going to talk about it today. We're going to have a live call in again, see how that goes, and go forward from there. So thank you guys so very much for joining me once again. Let's get the show on the road. Here we go. Here we go. Hello. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. I hope you're all doing good. And I hope y'all had a great day today. Thank you for joining me. How is everybody doing? Come on in, guys. Grab a seat. Please share this out if you will. And on your way through the door, please hit the like button, as always, if you can. That way we can get Sebastian's name in the algorithm and his story out there for those that possibly may have not heard it yet. God, it's hot in here, you guys. It is hot in here. And I'm not even ready yet, but I have a feeling that we're going to have to be setting all the air conditioning stuff up again because I just don't deal with heat. I don't like the stuffiness. And if I'm uncomfortable, y'all are going to see it. I promise you. You don't want to see that. It's not good. Come on in and grab a seat. Thank you for that one, guys. If you can, we're quick in the beginning while we're waiting everybody to jump in. Check out these channel links if you can. Or Miss Doodlebug, one of my producers in here. She's got her own channel, and it's all related to missing kids and everything we advocate against. So if you will, please check it out. Show a little love, subscribe. You won't be disappointed. It's definitely helpful in what we do. So thank you for that, SRB. I appreciate it. If we could drop Arctic's link in here too, please. I would appreciate that very much. Thank you, SRB. Well, First off, let's get everybody in here first, and I'll start tacking. Let's see who we got joining us today. Looks like Tomboy is in the house. Welcome back, Tomboy. Great to have you here. SRB, thank you, hun. I appreciate you very much. Great to have you here. Great to see you. Mama Bear Kelly is in the house. Welcome back to you. Great to see you. D. Smith, always happy to have you here. And of course, there she is. The Doodlebug's in the house. Welcome back, Doodle. Good to have you here. You're okay. Raul Kurbitz, welcome. Good to see you. Good to have you here. And I appreciate that very much. Excuse me. Of course, Arctic Fox is in the house. What's up, brother? Good to see you today. Thank you for joining us. Miss Brandy B, always here. Thank you for joining me, Brandy. I appreciate you very much. Miss Wisdom Speaks, same for you. Thank you for joining us today. Miss Cassie's in the house. Hello, Miss Cassie. Thank you for being here today. Ro, welcome back to you. Great to see you. Great to have you here. Thank you for joining us. Who else do we have up in here? Just Amber's in the house. Welcome, Amber. Good to have you here today. I hope you're doing great and having a wonderful day. Thank you for being here with us today. Groot, what's going on? Good to see you, Groot. Great to have you back, Marina girl. Miss Tracy, again, thank you for being here again. Thank you so much. Appreciate you very much. Miss Pammy B, hello. Thank you for joining us today. I appreciate you very much. And Miss Hope Floats, how are you doing, Val? Good to have you here. And thanks to all my moderators for jumping in here with me today. Because once again, guys, as I say every day, I could not nor would not do this without them all. I appreciate them so very much. Very, very much. Let me see here. Ro, welcome again. Tina B, welcome back to you. Great to see you today. Miss Sunshine's in the house. Thank you for joining us today, Sunshine. Great to have you here. Thank you for joining us, DS. I think I said hi, but either way, hello. Welcome back. Mr. Neil Homestead, thank you for joining us today, sir. I appreciate you very much. Thank you for joining us. And let me hit the bottom down here. Who else do we got in here? Chemistry Queen, welcome back. And Chemistry Queen became a new meatball. That's very awesome. Thank you for jumping into sauce with us and spilling some sauce on a daily basis. I appreciate you very much for that, Chemistry Queen. So very much. Let's see here. Jingles is in the house. Welcome back, Jingles. Good to see you. Miss Amy Fisher, hello. Welcome back. Golf Inspector General's in the house, guys. You better behave. You better have a great game of golf, or she'll call you out on it. That's for sure. Absolutely, Amy. I can understand that completely. Tori Wheat, Grant Pass, Oregon. Welcome. Guys, if you're tuning in from anywhere specific and you feel up to it, let me know where you're tuning in from. I love seeing and hearing that. It's always interesting to me to see where we're reaching out to every single day. Miss Vix Logic, welcome back to you, dear. Thank you for joining us today. I think I got everybody. Come on in, guys. Grab a seat, get comfortable. So, to answer your question, Tomboy, we do have Central Air here. We've had it here. It was here when I moved in. There's something wrong with it, and I just have not gotten to fix it. I don't know what it is, and I'm kind of nervous to look at it because I'm afraid it's going to be a $3,000 job. But I would love to have it working rather than having these air conditioners I have all over the house. So that's the deal with the Central Air. Welcome, Rocky. Good to see you today. Mystic Virgo, welcome back to you. Coming out of Southwest Florida. Just Amber is DFW, Texas. Welcome to you. Great to have you here. Rose still in South Carolina. We appreciate you so very much. Mama Kelly Bear. Mama Bear Kelly is coming out of Toledo. Well, hello, neighbor. Neil Homestead out of Northeast Alabama. Welcome. Chemistry Queen from Louisiana. Hell yeah. I always wanted to go there. One of these days. DS is coming from down in Florida. That's awesome. Great to have you there. That's what I'm talking about, Arctic. It's not cheap, bro. so I'm nervous about. Zelda said she just clocked out. Welcome, Zelda. Great to have you here. Thank you for joining us. Transplanted to Idaho and now in Texas from Tomboy. That's awesome. Thank you for that. Let me see. Miss Sunshine's in Nova Scotia, Canada, in the house. That's awesome. Thank you for that, Sunshine. Tracy again is another Alabaman. Roll Tide, roll Tide. I guess I got to call you family, Miss Tracy, because everybody else behind me is from Alabama. So you know how that goes. Mystic Virgo, Southwest Florida again. Victoria Burgess is out of Minnesota. Thank you for joining us. Miss Cassie is in Washington. Thank you for being here with us, Cass. I know Vix is on over in the UK. I think I got, let me see here. South Carolina's in the house. That's right. Miss Molly, good golly's in the house from Tatertown, Idaho. Canadian Grandma, welcome to you from Ontario, Canada. Great to have you here. Pauline Young coming from Scotland. That's so very awesome. Welcome, Pauline, and thank you for joining us. Marina Girls in South Carolina again. There's some more of that South Carolina wisdom. See, that's what somebody said happened to ours before we moved in. Is they said that they swore lightning hit it, and I don't know what's going on. I just haven't looked at it. I haven't had to because I have these. I guess being lazy. Teresa Morton's coming here from UK, London. Very awesome. Great to have you here, Teresa. Thank you for joining us today. We got 79 people here with 53 likes, guys. Let's hit that like button on the way through the door if you can. We got a whole lot of Canadians in the house, and I love it. Love it, love it. Pammy B coming from Saskatchewan. My favorite TV show ever in the world came from Canada. I'm probably going to disappoint some people right now, but I thought it was one of the most hilarious shows I ever watched, guys. Rocky's out of Manitoba. Awesome. That was a band I used to love in the 80s. Manitoba's Wild Kingdom. Hello, Miss Heather, coming from Virginia. Ashley 421 on another Ontario. Of course, Miss Pamela, I know where you're coming from over there in Lancashire. Thank you for joining us. Oh, we got a lot of Canada in here. That's awesome, guys. Thank you for joining us. Huckleberry, welcome. Good to see you from snowy southern Alberta. Hey, hey. Here we are again. The True Crime Cafe with the Dago Polypecker into. I'm never going to hear the end of that, am I? I will never hear the end of that. Thank God Mama Bear's not here. I love you, Pamela. I appreciate it very much. I'm glad you got a good sense of humor. I feel so bad. Debbie Clark, welcome. Good to have you here. Thank you for joining us today. Miss Kells, what's up, neighbor coming from Michigan? Yay, yay. It's like 82 here, and it's like kind of humid, Groot. I don't know. It's weird. Plus, back here in this room, there's no air circulation. It's crazy. I keep an air conditioner running. The one in my bedroom stays running all year, even in the wintertime. The weather in Ohio, moonlit, welcome, by the way. It's beautiful. It's super sunny out, and it's 82 or 83 right now. And just getting warmer. No worries, SRB. Take your time. And we are glad to see you, Miss Debbie. Yep, same here. I don't like being warm. I don't like stuffiness. I hate it. So I got something moving. I always got these ceiling fans going. They don't do anything but move the hot air around. Did you see Milo behind me, D? Just run around and he'll see me in the chair and run away. It's crazy. Yeah, it's definitely warm here, folks. Definitely warm. Welcome, everybody, though. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate you very much. Yeah, I heard it was supposed to storm tonight and tomorrow. So be it. I'm used to it. Storms rolling into Illinois. Mama Bear says, Dago, I might be from Ohio, but I'm a big Michigan fan. Hey, hey, that's all right. I'm from Ohio, but I'm a huge Bama fan, so I get it. I get it. Roll Tide, roll Tide. But I do love the Browns. You can't turn me on that one, guys. When I get this stuff moved around back here again, because I have to remove everything, reposition my desk and flip flop some of these shelves and stuff that I have over here, you'll see my brown stuff that'll be up. I have a lot of it, so. It's been getting warmer and warmer here. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, Arctic. We get hail. When we have hail, it comes. They're like this big, you guys. It's small ball, like golf balls, and they come down hard. Well, me and your husband can be best friends, Mama Bear. Telling you right now, I'm a diehard Browns fan and have been my entire life from the moment I popped out of my mama. That's just the way my family rolls. Browns all the way. YouTube stole my multicolored thumbs and only left me with this. That is so funny, Rocky. Thank you very much. And please, please, guys, 61 likes with 120. We're almost there. We can do it. You can do it. Welcome, Miss Dakota. Thank you for joining us today, and happy Tuesday to you. Like I said, guys, we're going to be talking today as the title reads, because I know that's the question of the year. Where is Sebastian Rogers? So we're going to turn it into a conversation, of course. And we'll throw in little bits and pieces of other cases we've looked at. Welcome, Niles Buckman. Thank you for joining us today. How are you? I appreciate you very much. I hate it too, Tracy. I absolutely detest the heat. I hate summertime. I love fall. And this past winter was basically fall for me. So we didn't have, I don't think we had one slight dusting of snow and that was it. It was ridiculous. It didn't even get that cold here either for winter. It was weird. I'm used to getting the below zero stuff and all that super freezing stuff. We didn't even get that. I don't know what's going on, but it's strange. Only 11 today, whatever that is in Fahrenheit. Well, you guys are opposite, or no, that's Australia. I'm thinking of Australia. 100% Arctic. I'd love it. I just like fall because I like to smell in the air and I like the tree colors and all that. Gray Pearls in the house. Welcome, dear. Thank you for joining us tonight. Today, tonight, whatever it is. Hey, Milo, what are you doing? I see you. I see you. You gonna run now? What are you doing? You see me? You see me? What are you doing? Are you being a good boy? You being a good boy? Come here. Nope, he won't come to me in this chair. I don't know why. The other one will jump right on me. 118 peeps, 70 likes. We can do this. Come on. Thank you, Zelda, very much. And thank you to everybody that donates to these links here. That helps us get through keeping our bills paid so we can do this every day. I appreciate you very much. Jules, welcome. Good to see you. Miss Teresa, you too. Thank you for joining us today. Yeah, I'm going to have to plug this fan in behind me and crank that on too because it's just like that stagnant, dry air. I hate it. Oh, la 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 la. Come on in, everybody. Now, the other dog's outside, Doodle. You're not going to get a show right now. I wish it was chilly still. As soon as I get it set up and rolling, you definitely can buy t-shirts, Duty. I promise. There he is. Mama just brought him in. Let me see him, honey. What are you doing, Fuzzy? Hmm? Say hi. I heard you barking. That's the other one. Hey, Steve. Welcome, SWTC's in the house. Good to have you here. Thank you, Ms. Victoria. I appreciate that, guys. As well as, guys, please, if you will, let me see if I can do it. I do. Hi, baby. Oh, you get your little doggy bone. Get your little doggy bone. You're so cute. You get another doggy bone. Oh. Don't eat the lid. Don't eat the lid. Mittens for Kittens, welcome. Good to see you. Deborah Sigler, thank you from Georgia. Shelly, welcome to you. All right, guys. Since we're talking about them, if you would please light up the chat with some green hearts in support of Sebastian, I would appreciate that very much. Thank you, Gray. I do like her very much. Very, very much. Dee Dee, Ohio girl, welcome to you. Morky Fiona has the zoomies. Oh yeah, mine does that all the time. She's my love and my life. Thank you very much, Victoria. Appreciate that. She doesn't want to be on the camera when she's dressed like this. She thinks she looks homely or something because she come home from work and she's outside in the yard just doing her thing. So she don't want nobody to see her. And I'm like, oh, you look fine. Quit it. Let's see. Did I catch everybody? I think I did. We got 123 peeps here, 78 likes. We're getting there, guys. Come on in, if you will. Oh, let me get this set up here. Let's see. Where is it? Come to Papa. Come to Papa. Dairy Queen Brazier. Higher ground. Oh, wow. We've missed you. Wonderful to see you. Thank you for joining us. It's wonderful to see you, Dairy Queen Brazier. I would. That's my favorite thing. I love peanuts. Thank you, Victoria, very much. Appreciate that. Come on in, everybody. Get comfortable. Yes, it's wonderful to see you, my dear. Thank you so much for being here with us. We were all worried about you. It's wonderful to have you here. Yeah, I think I would take what is it, a cookie or Oreo cookie blizzard right now because I'm so hot. Thank you, Miss Zelda. And thank you to everybody that has pulled from that Amazon wish list and sent anything to me. God bless. You guys are amazing. All right, guys, we're gonna start off with this today. And then we're gonna start everything up and we're gonna have our conversation. Peanut butter parfait was always my favorite thing there too. I love them. All right, thank you, SRB. Okay, let's see here. All right, guys, this is the newest interview that has been done from Katie by herself, and I didn't know how many of you have seen it. We're gonna check it out, and we're gonna see what everybody thinks and move forward.
Yeah, that's very typical.
Now, mind you, this Michelle, I know you guys are familiar with Michelle After Dark. I watch her channel a lot. I'm pulling the interview from her channel because I couldn't find it on this Reels thing. I don't know where that even is, other than through your phone. So we shall see how.
Cool, Amber. I have an autistic daughter that's very high functioning.
Home, and if you
go to the link in the description box and play it. It's the first link in the description box, so do that. The idea of me doing these live streams is that I want to comment
north of Nashville. He's not been seen or heard from since. How are you and circumstances? First of all, now is Sebastian's mom, Kate, heard from since. And Sebastian is now the subject of an Amber Alert. Joining us now.
All right, here we go. I got it figured out now. Thank you, Michelle. After Dark, appreciate you.
Now is Sebastian's mom, Katie Proudfoot. Katie, thanks for being with us under what must be very difficult circumstances. First of all, how are you and your family holding up?
I would say that this isn't a tragedy that we would wish anyone to ever experience. We're keeping our faith, and we're praying every day that we're going to find Sebastian.
What's the latest on the search?
So law enforcement is exploring any and all possibilities. They're communicating daily with us about updates and the statuses. We have faith that all the law enforcement agencies involved are doing everything that they can, and we're going to find Sebastian and bring him home.
We know the most important thing right now is to get the word out about Sebastian. What would you like our viewers to know about your son?
Yeah, I know everybody's going to notice it too. She seems to be reading from maybe a script she wrote down ahead of time or some notes she put down or something to the side there. Because I know a lot of people are going to ask, what's she keep looking at? What's she keep looking at? I believe that's what it is, you guys, truly. So that is so awesome. I'm glad you're feeling better, Higher Ground. Thank you, Arctic. I appreciate it, brother.
Sebastian, he is high functioning autistic. He loves animals. He loves video games. He loves fishing. Green tea.
You're so goofy.
He's typically a very, very sweet boy. He can be quite temperamental, though, if he's overstimulated or if he's stressed out. He has a unique run. He runs like the Naruto anime character. When he's excited, he likes to dab, and he loves music. He loves to dance.
That's all very helpful information. Now, if Sebastian is out there watching, what would you like to say to your son?
I would say, Bubba, we love you. We all love you so much. Wherever you are, just know that we are not going to stop. We're going to keep searching. We're going to find you. We're going to bring you home. And if you ever get an opportunity, find a phone, find a safe adult, call 911. But I'd also like to ask our community to please keep searching your properties. Keep sharing his flyer. If you know something or you see something, please say something. Call the law enforcement immediately.
We're going to do everything we can to help find him.
Thank you.
Now, let's take a good look at Sebastian. He's 15 years old, 5'5", 120 pounds, with light brown hair and brown eyes, and wears glasses. If you've seen Sebastian or know anything about his disappearance, please call the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800-THE-LOST. That's 1-800-843-5678. And you can also reach out to the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation at 1-800-TBI-FIND.
All right, so there's that. Now, I also want to give you guys something else real quick. I told you guys about it yesterday. I just didn't get a chance to bring it up and show you. So, one of the newer updates too was that Seth Rogers had started a change.org petition. As I welcome Cut Sharp, as I explained, and Ren Henniger, welcome. That was whoever that guy was from Reels. I've never seen him before. But anyway, he wants the FBI to take the lead on this case. Okay. Now I have my own opinion on this as to why, and it's just an opinion. No, it's okay, Higher Ground. If you were having health problems, you got to take care of you. We were all worried about you, but I'm glad you're okay. That's all that matters to me. I've actually said some prayers for you because I didn't know. I was just hoping you were okay, and it's wonderful to see you. It just made my whole day. So thank you so much for jumping in with us, and I'm glad you're better. That's all I can say. Welcome, Paula, as well, and it's great to have you back. Very much so. I understand completely. But yeah, this is more along the lines of what, by the way, what Sebastian looks like now if he were not to have his glasses on, specifically for those of you that are interested. So Seth wants the FBI to take the lead on this case, who TBI and the county has it right now, I believe, more than TBI than anything. Now, I don't know if it's because in a couple of the interviews, you've heard Katie state that the TBI is in contact with them daily. Welcome, War Eagle. And he has told in his interviews that they don't talk to him at all. So I'm thinking that could be a reason why. Welcome, Carito. Good to see you. That is my opinion as to why he wants this to happen, because maybe he feels that TBI is just not doing enough because they're not talking to him. Katie seems to think TBI is in contact with them, or states that they're in contact with her and Chris every day and that they're doing a great job. So that's probably where this is coming from. You know what I mean? I don't know if they're talking to them more than they're talking to him. I don't know why or what the deal is, but it could be, guys. I don't know. Thank you so very much for that. God bless. So there's 1,400 or 10,469 out of 15,000 signatures to get this. Now, so my understanding is that what was I going to say? That the FBI would have to be invited in from another law enforcement agency to do something like that. Chances can't happen. You know what I mean? So maybe that's what this is about. I don't know. Yeah, that's a good point. Please stop blaming either parent without any concrete facts by law enforcement to back up the accusations. Amen. Like I said, guys, it could be, Seth says one thing, Katie says another. We don't know. I just go by what they both say. And that's my assumption as to why he wants this to be done, because he's not getting enough to satisfy what he thinks is what he needs. I respect that. As a parent, we don't know because we're not there. But that's what Arctic just said is real deal, folks. Welcome, SW 4x4 Explorers. Great to have you here. Appreciate you. Again, anything that they've done in their past has no bearing on where Sebastian is. We're talking today about where it's called Where is Sebastian? We need to know where Sebastian. We're going to talk about where Sebastian could be. We're going to talk about why Sebastian may not be at home anymore. Things like that. Things about Sebastian and not Chris, Katie, or Seth, really. Okay. But I do want to show you anything new that comes out, and this is the newest stuff. It says, we want the FBI to take over the investigation of the case of missing Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers from Summit County Sheriff's Office. It has been 50 days since Sebastian, I got this email a couple days ago, has gone missing. No scent trail from the dogs. No video footage of Sebastian leaving his mother's house yet. No criminal investigation at all by TBI or Sumner County Sheriff's Office. So, if you guys choose to do this, that's 100% on you. I'm just showing it to you guys and giving you the options for whatever you choose to do. And it says down here, reasons for signing, or Sebastian deserves every resource available. I do agree with that. And also because, well, that one I don't know, because I can't agree with that because I don't know. It says the Proudfoots have too many connections with local law enforcement. I don't know that. We've never seen nor heard that, so we don't know. It's probably another rumor. There's a lot of them. You know what I mean? But Change.org has put through quite a few petitions, and I've actually ran quite a few of their petitions to help in certain situations. So again, this is something new that Seth has started. So whatever you guys choose to do with it, that's your business and your right. Welcome, Dane Crawford. Excuse me. All right. So Arctic sent me something else that we're going to check out as well. Give me a second here. and then we're gonna start the calling and the talking stuff.
Sometimes the White House hospital, they're telling you shortly when you get back to White House, so I notify White House PD or notify them there, sir. Sometimes the White House.
Sorry about that, guys. Hold on. It's double playing. We don't want that. So, this is interesting, to say the least. Very interesting. Let me know if you guys hear it okay. Thanks again, Arctic.
Branch, there was any blonde hair, the tag wrapped around his head, showed the ATM when I requested jacket approximately 2 hours ago.
Did you guys hear that? Wow.
Sometimes the White House hospital, they're telling you got in trouble. Why did you go back to White House? So I notified White House PD or notified them, sir. So you discovered an additional caller calling that was in advance stating she called someone that made the description on Hogan's branch. There was any blonde hair, the tag wrapped around his head, showed the ATM when I requested jacket approximately 2 hours ago. Sometimes the White House hospital, they're telling you got in trouble. Why did you go back to White House? So I notified White House PD or notified this, sir. So you heard an additional caller calling that was in the van stating she called someone that made the description on Hogan branch. There was any blonde hair, a tag wrapped around his head, shoved when I requested jacket approximately 2 hours ago.
Well, welcome, Higher Ground. Thank you for becoming a meatball again. We appreciate that very much, and welcome to the sauce. So basically what this is stating, and this was some more of that dispatch audio, and it was stating that they basically saw somebody matching the description with sandy blonde hair with a bag wrapped around his head. What? Welcome, Demon. Good to have you here. Baby Firefly, you too. Can someone explain how the hair color can be seen with the bag wrapped around his head? That's kind of what my thought was. I was just going to say that. How do you know that? Welcome, Florida Baby, Jacket Bushable. Everybody, thank you for joining us. That was, play it again, the day of 9:42 a.m.
additional caller calling that was in the van stating she called someone that made the description on Housekeeping branch. There was any blonde hair, a tag wrapped around his head. So they came on every person jacket approximately 2 hours ago.
So what I'm gonna gather, yeah, that's what I was thinking, like a bag, like a bandana maybe, or a rag or something. That could have been what it was. What are you talking about, Steve? This is the day of at 9:42 a.m. I can read it too. I'll play it again and then I'll read it again. Welcome, Higher Ground, and welcome back to the sauce. KDB, good to have you here. All right, let's do it again. Then I'll read because the subtitles are so small.
Sometimes the White House has to independent fully get back to White House.
So they're talking about somebody that wants to go back to White House school. He wants to go back, so on and so forth. They were saying that. Okay. So you might want to notify White House PD, police department, are notifying this around. It's at 9:42 a.m. on February 26th. Now she's saying units on Stafford. These are two different calls, by the way. We've had an additional caller call in. That was in a van stating that she saw someone that made the description on Hogan's Branch, that fit the description on Hogan's Branch Road. And with sandy blonde hair and a bag wrapped around his head. Or maybe she was trying to say rag, and that's what it picked it up as.
A bag wrapped around his head.
A child his age, he had on a jacket approximately 2 hours ago. 9:42, 8 for like 7:42 roughly.
Jacket approximately 2 hours ago.
That's everything. Welcome, Tim. Good to see you. Yeah, I agree. The guy that wanted to go back to school, I think that had something to do with the 20-year-old that the officer was out with the night before. I don't know what that was all about, but that's I had never heard that, Arctic. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that very much. The area that the person was spotted in was 2 miles from the Proudfoot's home if Sebastian had taken a shortcut through the woods. That's a very good point, sir. Very good point. Again, thank you, bro. Appreciate that. Every little thing, anybody gets anything. Hola, Dra. Welcome, Doc. Good to have you here. Becky, hello to you. Thank you for joining us tonight, guys. 181 peeps in here, guys. Please make sure you're hitting that like button so we get this out in that algorithm. I do appreciate each and every one of you guys for being here and supporting everything that we cover, but especially the search for Sebastian Rogers. All right, guys, I'm going to open the phone lines up. Evie Marie, welcome to you. Leo, welcome back as well. I'm going to open the phone lines up. If anybody wants to jump up here with me, let me know. We'll go with the phones first, though. The phone lines are turned on. We are ready to go. Let's talk about this, guys. Come on. Lots to talk about. Let's talk about where could Sebastian be? Where is Sebastian? It's the question of the year as far as I'm concerned. Because we haven't really said, where's Sebastian? And that's my big question. Anybody that's new in here, please feel free to just relax. And if anybody ever gives you a problem, you let me know or one of the mods know, and it will never be a problem again. But typically, everybody welcomes all the newer people with open arms. There's never usually a problem. Thank you so much, Rocky. I appreciate it. Deborah Thompson, great to see you. Again, thank you to anybody that has donated to any of the links. That is so very generous and more appreciative than you guys know. It keeps our channel going. It takes care of the internet, the YouTube, and all that other fun stuff to keep us here every day. So thank you once again for that. Welcome, Harsh Shelley. Thank you for joining us, and I appreciate you so very much for joining us tonight. Let me drop a phone number up here for you guys as well. The number here is 234-703-4047. Feel free to give us a call and give us your thoughts on where is Sebastian Rogers? Where could he be? Again, thank you so much for the kind words. Higher Ground, we appreciate you very much. Was somebody rude to somebody in here? Please let me know if that's the case.
Call from
Telling.
Hello, you're live with Dago.
Hey, Dago. Can you hear me?
I sure can. How are you today?
I'm doing all right. I just called. I've called you before. I've been on your panel a time or two. You know, the more I learn about the things that have gone on with Chris, Katie, and Seth, and all the other jargon, I'm really afraid for this kid because he could either be in one of them like wilderness type camp places being hid out and as a punishment, and or I don't know, that was put out on somebody else's channel, and there actually was a name put out, and we looked it up, and I'm like, well, crap. And I'm like, I didn't even, hadn't even thought of that one. I thought maybe somebody may have him put up somewhere, but now as long as it's been gone, I'm just really praying about it. And I appreciate people who do what you're doing. I have a small YouTube channel, not trying to get big, not trying to be monetized and all that, because I know what comes. I've seen what happened to other creators. I don't need any of that drama, but I don't believe Kylie drove herself into that water in Truckee, and I don't believe that Sebastian walked out of that house anymore. In the beginning, I'd hoped that way, but now I have a feeling that may not be the case, and it terrifies me. But that's all I wanted to say, and prayers for the family.
Absolutely, Shelley. I agree with you 100% about Kylie's case. And it's so many different things to think here, but I appreciate your thoughts and prayers on this and your feelings on this. Absolutely. And I always appreciate you supporting the channel and the call. We appreciate it very much.
No problem. I just wanted to pop in, say hi, and I'll let you get back to it.
All right. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Thank you, Shelley, for calling in. I appreciate it. Welcome, Sleuthing Squadron. How does that sound, you guys? Are there any kind of audio issues with it when they call in? Let me know, please.
call from Doctora Latina.
All right. Thank you, Shelley, for calling in. I appreciate it. Welcome, Sleuthing Squadron. How does that sound, you guys? Are there any kind of audio issues with it when they call in? Let me know, please. Welcome, Draw. You might have to turn down in the background.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't even know I was on.
Oh, yes. Welcome.
Hello.
How are you?
I am fair to middling. After tax day yesterday, I'm just trying to recuperate and take some deep breaths.
I'll bet.
Oh my God. All right. So the previous caller spoke upon the Kylie Rodney case, which I had done several very deep dives on Kylie Rodney's autopsy, getting into things much more than just there was no water in the lungs. I really went into probably 8 or 10 different findings that were or were not consistent with her having drowned. And the fact that the autopsy was really not complete because they didn't do some of the currently important sort of state-of-the-art testing, which I won't get into right now. But the bottom line is I concluded, to the chagrin of some of the I won't name names, but the ex-law enforcement that have large YouTube channels, where once upon a time I was a guest, to their chagrin, they did not want me to voice my opinion on that, and actually asked me not to speak about it anymore. So, of course, I never spoke to them again. But what I'm going to tell you is just because we're not current law enforcement or ex-law enforcement does not mean that we can't share our personal or professional opinions. So I'm going to just say that with respect to Kylie Rodney, this is a suspicious case. I absolutely do not believe that she drowned of her own volition if she did indeed drown, but I don't believe that she did. So I think that case, as well as the Summer Wells case, where I was also shut down because I made mention of my medical opinion from my experiences as 30 years as a physician, that there is such a thing as familial trafficking, which is kind of what you alluded to yesterday, Dago.
Yes, ma'am.
Where families will, quote, rent out a child to pay off a drug debt or whatever. And I felt, my impression was, especially in that part of Tennessee, it is rife with familial trafficking. And I did make my opinion known, and I was yet again shut down by ex-law enforcement, people who said, oh no, it's impossible because Summer was not in the demographic of what people are interested in terms of trafficking. And I want to just be free now to be able to say to somebody out there, sir, you're wrong, not you, but that other sir, you're wrong. And the bottom line is that with familial trafficking, this begins, sadly, even in infancy. So I am, to this day, fairly convinced that if an accident didn't happen, like she got hyperthermic in her mother's car, I do believe that Summer Wells was likely familially trafficked. I think Kylie Rodney,
I have to agree.
That's a whole other issue. Which one do you agree with?
I agree that I've thought there's a few people in here. I know Molly has been all over Summer as well, and you've been around the whole time I covered Summer too. I feel that one of the two situations, because of the photos we saw of her in the vehicle, that there was a possibility of dry drowning, or hypothermia set in because she was so small and that water was only 70 degrees, and her small body frame, that's just too small for that temperature of water for that period of time, in my opinion. Or with the scenarios, the other things that led up into that case, I truly believe what you just said about the familial tracking, because it does happen. Trafficking, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I've read into it because of what we're going to be covering here soon. I've been reading a lot about it, and it's a real thing, folks. It's as disturbing as it is. It's real and it's sad. So, I agree with you, right, full-heartedly on that one. Draw, without a doubt.
So, as far as the dry drowning, it's very, very, underlined 25 times, very rare. And indeed, do you know, I can't think of the man's name, but he is a professor and a PhD from the Body Farm in Tennessee. he's got a very elegant name. He's on a lot of like, the mainstream media, like very elegant name. I cannot think of this gentleman's name, but anyway, he was interviewed recently with respect to that Riley Strain case out of Nashville. And he interestingly said in his 30 plus years as a medical examiner or doing what it is that he does, he thinks he's only come across maybe 3 dry drownings in thousands. So it's extremely rare.
That's what I knew. It was very, very rare, but it's pretty much my last ditch effort in guessing something right. So, but I agree with you wholeheartedly.
So I think that the hyperthermia or heat stroke could have been something. I don't think hypothermia. I know she was skinny. I'm talking now about Summer Wells. I don't know, man, but I think it's more common for children, even if they've been in the 70-degree water, whatever, they get in a car, the car is uber hot, and that could have been an issue. So I'm with you on that. I guess I just I threw out, like, I was asked during this particular guest visit that I made, this is going back a year and a half or so ago, to make a sort of what I would call a differential diagnosis, or my impressions of what the top 5 possibilities were. And I did say familial trafficking, and I did get shut down, and I was irritated by that. But anyway, I think I'm so happy that you have begun to introduce the issue around trafficking. And, I've spent years working with the undocumented community in a very different fashion, because now it's out of control, the border. When I was working up until a couple of years ago with the undocumented coming from the southern border, we didn't see this sort of out of control, hundreds of thousands of people type of thing. But what we did see, and I unfortunately did see a lot of, was children and adolescents that were essentially sold into trafficking, coming over the border, and then being placed with somebody until their parents I'm talking about with like a pimp, until their parents could pay off the debt. It's horrible. And I also,
Right.
I remember one patient was maybe 15 or 16. She came over the border as a, I don't know how to say this, but as a somebody who was chased. Do you know what I mean by that? Who had never had any sort of an experience. You know what I'm talking about?
Right. Yes,
And
absolutely.
she was violated by Coyote, and she was put for a month in a shed before she got to the border. And when she came to me, she was like 3 months pregnant. I mean, so the stuff does go on both, from south of the border into trafficking, and then, domestically, like in Tennessee, etc. And I would like to send you some articles that I have on, actually, interestingly, Tennessee and familial trafficking. So
absolutely. Please do.
So the last thing, I know I'm talking a dog off a meat truck here, but
I could listen to you all day, Draw, and I think most everybody else could too. So you're fine.
I do tend to talk. When I have the energy to get up and say something, I do tend to go on. So I'm going to try to control my.
It's quite all right. Quite all right.
And I also, have been trying to be very discreet about how I was chastised elsewhere. But I still want people to get the idea that I do think, sadly, on the YouTube streets in true crime, I think it's run by the legacy media. Under, like, they run it, and some of the big channels that we see are sort of partnered up with them. There's no doubt in my mind. So, that means for smaller channels, and I mean even fewer than 100,000, I'm talking, or like you're growing at 8,000. It makes folks like you, actually I have 5,100 and I haven't posted in a while, but on my channel, but it makes folks like us, it makes it very difficult for us to find our voice and to be able to get out the important messages that need to be gotten out,
Right. Absolutely. And it is very important. In fact, I have something, I'll probably put it out if you're still comfortable with it towards the end of the show, that one internet, or I'm sorry, email you had sent me about. I'd like to put that out with the song in it and all that other
Yes.
stuff. I would love to play that
Yeah,
towards the end of the show.
Desaparecidos. The
Yes.
missing, the Desaparecidos.
Yes.
It's unbelievable.
It is
what
beautiful.
really-
Yes.
It's beautiful. What really struck me is if you look at the words that are sung by a very famous Mexican pop artist, if you look at the words that are sung and what the parents say at the beginning, you know, they will go to the ends of the earth to try to find their lost child.
Right.
And as I said to you in the email, it is reminiscent of what Seth has been doing. I recall one day, I think JLR or something had a video where Seth was just calling out his name. Seth was calling Sebastian, you know, going through empty sheds and farms and fields. And so this, what I sent you, which is a sort of a, you know, it's a whole, what do you want to say? I don't want to say it's a celebration, but it's let's say a testimony to the thousands of missing children out there. Seth reminded me of these parents in this video that you're going to show that just literally would crawl and dig into the earth. And you'll see that in these photographs of parents literally digging to try to find their child. It's something unbelievable. So that brings me to my final thing that I want to say, and that is I don't know. I honestly at this point do not know what happened to little Sebastian. I don't want to point any fingers necessarily at any parent.
Right.
Because there is a chance. Maybe I think I've said this to you before. What I do think is he like most adolescents, likely did have access to social media. He could have been lured. He could have been lured by a stranger. You know, we simply just don't know. I'm not too happy that the mama and her new husband haven't really, you know, been pounding the pavement. But I don't know. I don't know what their situation is. I do think FBI needs to swing into action for Sebastian.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think that if the FBI was in charge of this case 45 days ago, something would be different at this point. That's my opinion. And I think I'm not saying anything's wrong with TBI. I'm not saying anything is wrong with the county sheriff or none of that, guys. All I'm saying is the FBI is the FBI, and we know what they can do. We know the resources they have. We know that they have been involved in some instances, but I just feel like, you know, they just would have had a kick up on what has been going on possibly and looked a little deeper or a little earlier. And that's why I feel. Go ahead, Draw.
No, I didn't mean to interrupt you. No, I think it's just the whole thing, man. And especially because the child, little Sebastian, is a child with autism, is on the spectrum. You know, he is, as I've said to you before, I'm sure, too many times. You know, children that are not neurotypical, but who are neuroatypical, ADHD, autism are two examples. You know, they're vulnerable. They are vulnerable, much more so than neurotypical children or adolescents. And my heart, you know, it aches for this situation here for him.
Absolutely. I do agree wholeheartedly. We're going to look into that too during today's talk. And give you guys some information on some of the things that are going on with Sebastian, which is part of what this is about, to understand him more, possibly with the issues that he has, the medical issues and so on and so forth, because a lot of that is not known to people, and they don't understand what it is that just goes on with him on a daily basis per se, possibly. So we're going to talk about that too. But yeah, I do agree with you very much, Draw, with what you said. And like I said, everything that you bring to us is always very interesting. So I appreciate you very much.
Well, and I know that not everybody agrees, and nobody really has to agree with me. It's just my impressions and my reflections. But hopefully just to add to the dialogue that we're having. And what I really, really appreciate about your channel is that you really require people to dialogue, civilly with one another, right?
I definitely try my best. I definitely try my best. I promise.
Okay. I'm going to hop off and jump back into the chat.
Absolutely. And once again, thank you, Doc. I appreciate you. You're always welcome here. Sorry, my dog is barking like crazy in the background, but thank you so much for your input, as always.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, Doc. Bye-bye. Wonderful. Hold on. He wants to play with the other dog. So, just so people understand, the FBI has been involved, okay? What this petition is pushing for is for the FBI to take the lead on the case. Which means it would be a whole different presentation from them. What they're doing is they're giving resources in some senses, and they're helping with different things, but they're not in charge and they're not running this case. Okay. Welcome, Cat Lady. Great to have you here. What he wants for this, what they want to happen is for them to be the ones that are running, leading, covering everything. That's the whole part of it right there. Which, I know some people are like, well, it doesn't matter. The FBI is already there. But yes, they can only do so much because they haven't been asked to take the lead at this point. And like I said, my understanding is that they have to be asked to come in and to do that kind of thing. That's my understanding from the research I've looked into. So that's probably why the petition is being run. So we'll see. We'll see, guys. But again, thank you, Draw. Very much appreciate your intel and your info, and love hearing from you always. And she did send me something a few days ago, guys. I'm going to play with you that goes along with the missing, as she was stating. It's a beautiful thing. It's amazing. So we're going to check that out before we leave today for sure. Welcome, Florida baby. And I don't know if I said hello to you, KDB, but hello. And I was watching the chat, and yes, guys, listen. Everybody is welcome to have their own opinions, okay? And as I've asked everybody again and again and again, for people that are always here and people that are new now, maybe you don't know. My platform is here for everyone to be able to express their own views and their own opinions. The biggest part of that is to be able to respect each other's views and opinions without going at each other. That's all I'm asking. I say this all the time. I don't care if you respect me or not, but you're going to have to respect each other to be here. That's all I ask, period. Everybody has the right to their own feelings, their own views, their own opinions. The one thing that I will never put up with is victim shaming. And in this specific case, I do not want people attacking the Proud Foots, or Proud Feet, as Kluk says, or Seth, because we don't have, based on what law enforcement has told us, I've said this time and time again, we don't have any proof from law enforcement that any of them are involved in anything nefarious. That's all I'm saying. When that time comes, if that time comes, then I'm going to say something, and I expect all of you will too. But right now, I just want to focus on finding Sebastian first. That's all I keep saying. That's all I want to do is find him first. Then we'll get into that conversation, because I guarantee you there probably will be one, folks. That's all, guys. Just respect each other, please. That's it. Nothing more. Like I said, you don't even have to respect me. I don't care. Just each other. That's all that matters to me. Respect that we're all the same, guys. We all have different opinions and feelings, and we're going to express it. We can do it in a respectful way without attacking other people. That's all. Nothing more. So anyway, and I like to hear both sides of things, to be honest with you. I do, because it's interesting. You may hear something that you're not sure you heard before, or something new, and you listen to what people say. That's how it is for me. So, okay, moving forward. And as I said, we're going to look at a couple of things, guys, that some people don't understand. And please feel free to continue to call in 234-703-4047. I want to hear from you guys. I really do. We're going to talk about a little bit about some of the medical problems that Sebastian actually has, and I'm going to explain a little bit about it to you guys to understand him himself more. Okay. So let me catch up here with you guys over here to make sure I'm not missing anything. That's a great point there, Rocky. Thank you. Welcome, Kim. Great to have you here, hon. I hope you're feeling better. Girl next door, welcome. Glad to have you here. That's another point. Thank you, Katie, so very much. You can't understand it until you hear it all. I agree. That's what my issue is to see people all stuck on one side. It doesn't make sense. I know what we've experienced so far, guys, and that's going to give us opinions and feelings on things. I agree. Let's wait to see what comes from that, though. What comes out of that? You know what I mean? Before we just go attacking somebody or wanting to send them to the guillotine or whatever, because we don't know what the whole scenario is, because we're not getting all the facts. We get what facts we're allowed to have, and then that's it. And to make a decision based on that is just so premature. You know what I mean? It's wonderful to have you here, girl next door. I appreciate you very much. Welcome, El Bariqua. Great to see you today. Welcome, Ms. Zelda. Glad to have you back. That's it, too. There's always new information coming in. I love what you're saying today, Rocky. There's new information coming in every other day or every few days, and it can absolutely flip the story to one side to the other, and we don't know that yet, you know? It's just a respect thing, guys. That's all. And that's what it is too, cat lady. I just didn't want everybody to get all, I can't hear you. You know what I mean? He's just so mad because he wants to play. He wants to go outside with the other one. He was just outside. We can't have them both out there at the same time because they go nuts. Welcome, lip locked no more. I wouldn't want anyone who has already made up their mind in a case before charges are brought in a trail and sues on it free. Yes, great points, guys. No, Walt, you're right here, bud. See, I see you. Yes, these are great points you guys are bringing in today. Georgia Rain, welcome. So great to see you today. Thank you for joining us. Again, feel free, please, guys. 234-703-4047. Give me a call. Let's talk about these things. Certified alienist. Welcome. It's great to see you. I love the new faces. Maxie Doodle, great to have you here as well. I wondered for a while if Sebastian was on medication. He was. He was definitely on medication. And that's where I'm going to go. It brings some of this up for you guys to understand. Okay. One of the big things that was wrong, and I've had questions as well as to why Sebastian was only diagnosed with his autism a year ago. Oh, Angel, there you are. I didn't even see you until just now, hon. Of course I'm going to say hello to you. That way you can harass me. I love when you harass me. I'm just kidding. Welcome. It's great to have you here, Angel. I always appreciate you. Marietta, welcome to you as well. Yeah, I just now saw you though, Angel. I'm sorry. So we're going to look at that, talk about that, because it'll explain some of the things that have been going on. The Q6 chromosome deletion is a big deal thing, okay? And then again, the fact that he was never diagnosed until just a year ago. The signs were all there probably from the time he started walking. Because that's when we noticed it with my child, and we had him diagnosed at the age of 6. That's the first time they would look into it for me. So, I hope there's Leslie, welcome. Good to see you. Victoria, hello. Shane Nolan, welcome. Everybody's jumping in. Country Brat, great to see you. Welcome, everyone. Okay, guys, give me one moment. I have to step aside for one quick second. I'll be right back, and I'm going to pull up some info for us to look at and talk about real quick, and then we'll keep on going. All right, guys. I turned the phone lines off just for a minute here while we go through this, and we'll go back to it here in a second. So, again, what Sebastian was diagnosed with first, okay? Thank you very much, War Eagle, for that. I appreciate it. Was called a, well, it depends on how you say it, chromosome 6q deletion, okay? Or it has been called a Q6 chromosome deletion too. However you want to say it, it's up to you. Original Ryanity, welcome. So, a chromosome 6q deletion is a chromosome, abnormality that occurs when there is a missing copy of the genetic material located on the long arm of chromosome 6. The severity of the condition and the signs and symptoms depend on the size and location of the deletion and which genes are involved. Features that often occur with and this is why I'm explaining this to you so you can understand who Sebastian Rogers is. Okay. So features that often occur in people with chromosome 6q deletion include developmental delay, intellectual disability, distinctive facial features. Most cases are not inherited, but people can pass the deletion on to their children. Treatment is based on the signs and symptoms present in each person. Okay. So now what that would mean in his case, I don't think there's really any distinctive like facial features. He looks pretty average for a boy, 15-year-old boy. But intellectual disability, that there I can see being involved as far as developmental delay. Okay, which is why they're stating that like his mentality, he's 15, but the mentality that he has is that of a lot of a younger child. That would be part of the reason why. Now take that into effect. Part of that, add in the fact that he's on the spectrum, and I'm going to show you levels of the spectrum and different variations of what autism he could actually have. We don't know exactly what it is. And I stated early on in this, I think Salty brought this up too, that we don't really know. We were said that he's got high functioning autism. Well, that is an opinion from a parent. That's not a medical diagnosis, because based on the fact that he bites himself from time to time, he throws himself on the ground when he gets upset, when he's triggered, he can hit himself. All of those things, guys, put him in different tiers, in my opinion. Okay. All right. So moving forward here, let me get something out here too for you. Now, I'm not going to go super scientific on you because a lot of this stuff is very hard to understand and to get into. So hold on a minute here. And it does state that it causes severe hold on a minute, intellectual disabilities in some senses. Okay. A clue. So again, going back to this, it's a chromosome disorder that typically causes severe intellectual disability. Most affected individuals do not speak only a few words. They have temper tantrums, bite themselves, or exhibit other behavior problems. And this can be misdiagnosed, you guys. Okay. It can be underdiagnosed, for lack of better terms. Okay. So most have structural abnormalities of the brain, and seizures occur in more than half of individuals with this disorder. Now, we were also told, I think it was Seth that brought in, that he stated that Sebastian hadn't had anything like that since he was way younger. I don't think so. I don't think so, Tracy. Unless there was some kind of a threatening basis behind it, possibly. Sorry. Now, again, affected individuals usually have a weak muscle tone, hypotonia, and swallowing dysphagia, which is just difficulty swallowing. I'm sorry. Other features include a small head that is unusually short and wide, vision and hearing problems, abnormalities of the skeleton, heart, gastrointestinal system, kidneys or genitalia, and distinctive facial features. Again, now the 1p36 deletion syndrome is caused by, which is another name, it follows into the Q6 deletion. Okay, they kind of worked in together, from my understanding, what I read. Again, where was I at? I keep losing my spot. It's caused by a deletion of genetic material from a specific region in the short arm of the chromosome. Most cases are not inherited. Only about 20% of the cases of people with 1p36 deletion syndrome inherit the chromosome with a deleted segment from an unaffected parent. In these cases, the parent carries a balanced translocation in which no genetic material is gained or lost. There is no cure for this syndrome. Treatment depends on the symptoms and may include rehabilitation, educational programs, epileptic medication, and standard treatment for heart, kidney, eye, hearing, and or bone problems. So, all right. So this is what the basis for the initial, when he was younger, what he was diagnosed with, which was the Q6 chromosome deletion. I'm sorry. Can't talk today. That was the first thing he was diagnosed with when he was younger. Then 13 years go by. They had to have seen, or maybe they just thought that it was the symptoms that were coming from the deletion syndrome that were causing him to act that way. And then he was diagnosed as being on the spectrum, right? Okay. So you add that into this. And let me show you something. Because we don't know exactly what is what. 1 second here. One minute. Sorry, guys. It's not cooperating with me. Here we go. Sarah with an H, great to see you. All right, guys. So, what are the 5 different types of autism? Okay. Now, this is just a touch on the spectrum. So I'm not going into super duper details and boring you guys, because it does get boring, I promise you. Unless you have a child that has this. Welcome, Gigi Sunshine. Thank you for joining us. Because, I want to show you this stuff, you guys, so that, again, we can understand who Sebastian is a little bit better and maybe think a little bit like he does based on the things that he's got going on in his life. Put ourselves in his shoes. You know what I'm saying? And I think it helps to be educated on, the medical things that are going on in his life, in my opinion. That's all I'm saying. So Kanner syndrome is one, I guess you could call a stage or a level. It was named for Leo Kanner, one of the researchers credited with writing one of the original reports on autism in 1943. Kanner syndrome is an outdated term for what we now call autism, okay? Typically, the onset shows before 30 months unusual speech patterns, resistance to change, severe deficits in language development, pervasive lack of responsiveness to others, and peculiar attachments to objects. Now, here's the thing, guys. There's children out here that have little bits and pieces of all of these. I've found out too. I've read that. Okay. My son has little pieces of some of these too. And it's interesting to know, like, some children have one specific, like, there's children out there that would have just Kanner syndrome per se. And then, there's other children that may just have Asperger's or Rett syndrome. Okay. Or the CDD. Sometimes you can get little bits and pieces of all of it, which is why they say he's autistic, not that he's Asperger's or that he's got Kanner's. You know what I'm saying? But genetic does mean that it can be in your family, and it is hereditary, folks. I personally feel like, I've never been diagnosed, but I personally feel like I am probably in the spectrum. My child was diagnosed initially with chronic ADHD, and then they flipped and said, and I do feel that he's got just a little bit of the spectrum going on. A lot of the things that he has, I have too, and I had as a child, and I was just diagnosed as being a bad kid, okay? Because they didn't understand it that much back then. So moving on, there's Asperger's, guys. Asperger's is a developmental disorder that was previously recognized as a separate disorder from autism. With the publications of the DSM-V, Asperger's was reclassified into a broader category of ASD, along with several other developmental issues due to Asperger's long history as a separate disorder from autism. Specialists will occasionally diagnose children with Asperger's to signify a subtype of a less severe ASD. So again, with Asperger's, there's no requirement for onset before age 3. There's no requirement for an absence of a language delay. There's no diagnostic criteria in the communication domain, and criteria specifying the lack of a deficit in cognitive development. Okay, if you guys know what that means. The criteria that differentiated Asperger's from autism were those things that I just stated to you. And it basically, it's what separates it per se, okay? Thank you, Zelda, very much. Hydrocephalus, too. Yes, absolutely opinionated. That can definitely be part of that. Which hydrocephalus would be, like swelling on the brain, water, things like that. The water on the brain and all that kind of stuff. Kim Holmes, welcome. Good to have you here. Absolutely. That's a great point there, Kim Holmes. Many geniuses have Asperger's. Einstein was one too. Sarge Friday that you guys have seen in here, he's got Asperger's. He told me that before. It makes a lot of people, that's why his certain things that he thinks about, he was able to think deeply on and come up with a very, very intelligent, he speaks very intelligently because of that. You know what I mean? Missing parks, yes, Victoria, that's another part of it too. Moving on to Rett syndrome is a neurodevelopmental disorder that almost exclusively affects girls. Children with Rett's often display similar symptoms to autism in early childhood, like a loss of communication and social skills. However, since Rett syndrome is primarily found in girls and presents many physical symptoms not found in ASD, it was removed from the DSM-V and now no longer considered a developmental disorder under the ASD umbrella. Welcome, Carly Ray. I agree, Clue. Absolutely. That's, he's blamed it on that before. He just knows so much stuff. Where was I at? Sorry. Almost all cases of Rett syndrome occur due to a mutation of the MECP2 gene. Mutations in other genes are also linked to Rett syndrome, although they're much less common, despite being a genetic disorder. Less than 1% of recorded cases are inherited, which is a hereditary scenario. Most cases come from spontaneous mutations, although families of loved ones with Rett's might have asymptomatic female carriers of the mutation, which means you could be a carrier and never present with any of the symptoms, but you're carrying it, and then you pass it on to your child per se. Okay. There are 4 stages of Rett syndrome, but the stage, speed, and severity of the symptoms are slightly different for everyone. A child with Rett's will show signs of typical development at first, but then eventually displaying a slowing of development, loss of motor control, growth delays, muscle wasting, and cognitive disabilities, along with a brief period of a loss of a social and communication skills in early childhood throughout its 4 stages. Symptoms of Rett syndrome may include slowed head growth, which would be a tiny sized head, muscle weakness, abnormal breathing patterns, repetitive movements, loss of purposeful hand skills, abnormal walking, seizures, inability to speak or understand language, and scoliosis, sadly. So there's another, which typically, like I said, it typically affects females. So another one is childhood disintegrative disorder, CDD. Is another developmental disorder that was absorbed into the ASD umbrella with the publication of the DSM-5. Before its reclassification, I'm sorry if I'm boring you guys. I'm just trying to let you understand a lot of this stuff. Some of it can be boring, I know. It has the same symptoms as autism, including the regression of communication and developmental skills. The main difference is that CDD onset is relatively late compared to the ASD. Other signs of CDD include the loss of motor skills, play skills, bladder or bowel control, self-care and social skills, and expressive and receptive language skills. Now, see, none of that stuff, not that I know of, affected, it seems to be any of the stuff that Sebastian has, okay? But that could come later because some of these things can, like I said, based on what I read today, some of these versions can mutate and come later down the road, okay? We have pervasive developmental disorder, not otherwise specified, PDD, NOS. Okay, and the signs, I'm not going to read everything to you on that because I'm sure you guys are tired of hearing all this stuff. But the signs and symptoms of PDD include problems with nonverbal and verbal communication, difficulty with social interaction, impaired social skills, difficulty with changes in routine, repetitive movements or behaviors, and unusual play. Now, when I was telling you that some of these things can be split up from different levels and variations and go into people, problems with nonverbal and verbal communication, Caden has had that, okay? And meaning he doesn't know how to speak to people and express what he's trying to say. Difficulty with social interaction, Caden still has that problem. Impaired social skill, Caden has that problem. Difficulty with Caden or changes in routine, Caden has that problem. A lot of kids with autism have that problem. And repetitive movements or behaviors, Caden has that too because he's constantly moving, singing. He sings all day, guys. He can't stop himself. And then the unusual play, I've never seen that. And repetitive, the bladder stuff like that, I've never had issues with that either. So again, these things are all variations of, we've heard that Sebastian was known to bite himself, to hit himself, to throw himself on the floor. If we go back to the beginning one, he's in the spectrum, and that's why there's not really a way to say which part of the spectrum is he in. Well, he's got a little bit of everything, okay, in different variations. So I just kind of wanted to give you guys some insight into what these things are, okay? And like I said, if we go backwards a little bit, one of the things that Seth had stated that Sebastian used to have issues with, but hasn't in a long time, was seizures. So a lot of these things, motor skills, play skills, bladder or bowel control, the pull-up thing. So these things all make sense in some of it. You see what I'm saying? Yes, there's regression. There absolutely is, Rocky. There absolutely is. Kim, I can't tell you that because I wasn't there. You know what I mean, hon? I don't know if it's a possibility. So, all right. So there was that. And like I said, I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of insight into some of the things that Sebastian lives with daily. I'm going to go ahead and open the phone lines back up. If anybody wants to call in, you're welcome to. Or if somebody wants to jump up, let me know. I will throw a link down. Let's see. Cut Sharp says, I was told I was hyperactive as a child. I couldn't sit still. Doctors tried to medicate me. I was allergic to the medication. It happened to a lot of us, Cut Sharp. I have what is called adult ADHD and oppositional defiant disorder. I had it as a child. I don't have it as an adult, but I have the adult ADD. He has ADD, and he's on the spectrum as well. And he has oppositional defiant disorder and generalized anxiety as well. They all go together. Winsel, welcome. Pragmatics of speech, yes. So again, guys, 234-703-4047. If anybody wants to talk about any of this, give me a call. Where's my guitar? We'll go play it then. That's it too. Thank you, Katie. It does. It has so many co-disorders, and like I said, they could be intermingled with each other and so on and so forth. So it's very hard to just stabilize one within a person. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's easier just to say he's on the spectrum, and he is. Which is why it could have been it. And the reason why that we need to know these things is because it can help us to understand, in my opinion. It could have been him all on his own, that something triggered him and he just bolted. I don't think that's what happened, but that's just, I'm saying it's a very grand possibility. Milo quit. In that situation. It's not big enough. It's really not that big.
It is.
It's not that big, hon.
What she said.
Mm-hmm. It's easier for me to drink out of it because I don't run out quick. Makes it easier for people to say, oh, that is why I do that. Now I get it. Right. Thank you, Leo. My kids got it for me a few years ago. I hope that helped to explain it. I wasn't going into like severe detail, guys, because we'd be here forever. I just wanted to give kind of some outlying, like just some like basic points to it to kind of give us, everybody a little bit of an idea as to what those systems are and what is going on with the Q6 chromosome deletion, because that's the important thing right there. That's the thing that scares me that he's out there with. If he's medicated for it, it bothers me that he doesn't have that medication. I plan on doing that, Cassie. I plan on doing an entire show on autism itself, but I just wanted to give you guys a quick over on it real quick. Thank you so much, Miss Dakota. I do too. I do too. I love when she's here too. She's going to be out for 5 days here pretty soon. So, does anybody have anything they would like to add to this or ask questions about or just anything? He definitely had bladder problems. We know that. So it could have been, because of this. It may not have had anything to do with anything separate. There were some things said that maybe this happened or that happened, and that's where they came from. It could have just been from this scenario. Let me see here. Risk-taking behavior while under stress. Think about it. I know I shouldn't leave, but I'm going to take off and go see what I can get into in the middle of the night. That could be it. That could be part of it. You know what I mean? It helps self-esteem to understand idea what you could. Yeah, absolutely, 100%, Rocky. What about talk of Sebastian telling kids at school to put him in the trash? That could be one of two things. One, because he knows that it's going to get a reaction and it's going to put attention on him, positive or negative. He's still getting attention. Okay. The psychological background on that, if somebody doesn't get attention, they'll take good or bad. Two, he knows that he could get a funny reaction from somebody, meaning he wants people to laugh at him and think that he's funny if he doesn't have that many friends, which is a very sad thing. But again, or he could have a very, very low sense of self-worth, which is very sad and it really angers me. And that could come from many different things. It could be the way he's treated by his peers. It could come from things that have been said to him or the way he's grown up. I don't know. We don't know any of that, but I'm just saying, enjoy it, Zelda, and thank you for being here. It could be any of those things and any of those reasons for him to do something like that. Yeah, Brandy has her Matthew is not, and I hate using these terms now, but as high functioning as a lot. He has verbal issues, growth issues, and things like that. So a lot of those things we were reading about Matthew does have, and she deals with it all on her own. God bless her and more power to her because she does a great job, and we love Matthew. So. That's true too. There are a lot of parents that are in denial with it. They're not my kid. There's nothing wrong with my kid. There can't be. That can't. It happens. That's one of the problems. That's one of the big problems is why children are never diagnosed. They're underdiagnosed or they're diagnosed late because parents don't want to deal with it nor accept that that's what's wrong. Yeah, I had never heard that either, Gray. But I'm just saying that could be what it was. Let's see. My 14-year-old has severe nonverbal and is highly aggressive. It's an unfair world for a lot of kiddos. 100%, Terry. It's very sad. God bless you and Godspeed. It's a hard thing. It really is. Thank God. We were lucky with Caden. His is very, very, very just a touch up. Okay. Most what his problem is the ADHD, the anxiety. But he's an amazing child. He's a very talented child, and I'm very grateful for him. So, 100%. Now there are resources out there. I'll tell you that. You just have to find them. You got to go looking for them, and you got to find them. But they are out there, guys. Yeah, where did you hear that, War Eagle? I had never heard that before. Hello, Miss Brandy. Let me see. I don't think we can look at a list of possible signs and symptoms and assume everyone diagnosed with that. Right. That's absolutely correct. That's what I was trying to state. They don't always have, though, every one of those behaviors. Sometimes they have less. Sometimes they have more different ones, so on and so forth. But it does help us to know from what we've heard about him that to understand what may be part of the reasoning why and stuff like that. That's why I explain stuff like that. But thank you, Paula. I wonder why he would ask the other. I don't know about that either. I've never heard that until today. My boss's daughter has oral facial dysplasia, polycystic kidney disease, plus has autism. She cries and gets very moody. She's 30. Absolutely, yes. Imagine what she goes through every day, how she feels every day. You know what I mean? It's just, and that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of these kids we don't know what they feel and think and what they have to see the world like. Imagine how they see all of us. Do you know what I mean? That's how I think of this. That's why it's been so hard for me to deal with this case, because of what I feel. I'm trying to feel what Sebastian's feeling, what he was feeling, how he feels, why he would have left, what could have happened if he left. You know what I mean? I went from denial to self blame. You can never blame yourself, hon. It's not your fault. This is what God's plan was. And he made that amazing child and gave him to you because he knew that you were going to do an amazing job with him. Period. That's just how I feel about that. You do wonder, he couldn't ask for a better mother as far as I'm concerned, Brandy. Nobody wants to talk to me today, I see. That's okay. I'll keep on right on talking. All of this was said by his parents. All of what was. I seem to recall them saying they had a camera aimed at. I don't remember that. I know there was a question asked about if they had a padlock on their fridge, and they said no, but I don't know about a camera. I had never heard that either. They did say, I think Chris said that he liked to eat. And it's probably part of that is probably based on the medication. When Caden was on his one medication, that's all he wanted to do was eat, you guys. No, we couldn't feed him enough. No worries, alienist. I hope you feel better. There was a question asked about them locking their fridge, and they denied that. I don't know. That's true too. That is true too. A lot of different things said and a lot of things changed. I agree. Well, thank you so much, Cat Lady. That makes me feel good. I appreciate that very much. That makes me feel like I'm talking for a reason. That's a wonderful comment to make, and I appreciate it so very much. Carly Ray states that my mom worked in special education for 20 plus years, high school kids. She got lots of joy and would come home with bruises and black eye once. She loved her students nonetheless. Absolutely, because they, in some ways, they can't help that. You know what I mean?
Call from Greg.
Hello, Miss Gray. You are live with the Digo. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you today?
I'm doing wonderful. What can we do for you?
Just really quickly, I just have a couple little things. So, of course, I was suspicious of Katie and Chris in the beginning, like everybody was. But once the abuse came out and you go back and you rewatch everything, it makes a little bit more sense. I wasn't as suspicious because you could tell that, they could have guilt from many, many things. It doesn't have to be guilt from what happened to Sebastian. And the other thing that I wanted to point out is when you go back and listen to them, they say it in quite a few interviews. They keep saying, why did he walk out that door? We don't know why he walked out that door. That's what they always say. In fact, in one of the interviews, Chris said to the interviewer, that's the $1 million question. Not where is he, who got him, nothing like that. Why did he walk out that door? So the more I think about that, I just think like he was bored or somebody, or he got in trouble and maybe ran off and Katie was like, well, screw it, he'll come back when he's ready. That type of thing. But if you listen in the beginning, that's the one question that they keep repeating is why did he walk out that door?
And I you're right. And I've kind of hung on to that because she has said it multiple times. And to me, it comes off as like in her mind, she knows that he walked out of the house. period.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying she knows because she's involved. She knows because, like, that's the only thing that makes sense in her mind, that he walked out of the house. And
Right.
that, you know what I'm saying? So that's what it says to me for sure. And that is a great question. Why did he walk out of the house? We talked about this once before in another show. Was he triggered from something that night? Was he overstimulated? Okay. From everything he did that day, he went to the bowling alley and did all these different things. Did he get overstimulated and he couldn't calm himself down and he had to go do something and he stepped out of the house? It could be a whole bunch of reasons. And like I said, and I've been kind of stuck on this, I feel that he was either lured out of the house because there's somebody in that neighborhood I'm not comfortable with at all. Okay. And it's been talked about a few times. I think Salty had brought it up a few times too. I know she has. And I'd really like to get to know that person more. Because of his he was charged with certain things and he carries a registration on that now. I'm very interested to know if Sebastian did walk out of the house. Did this person possibly, or somebody like this person, grab him? Because
at the retention pond.
Okay, and that's what I'm saying, you guys, because there is nothing else in this case that points to anything else. Okay. It doesn't make any sense at all that nobody in 50 some odd days has seen this child on any camera anywhere ever. Okay. Or even out in the open publicly saw him anywhere, that nobody's found. And I hate to say it like this, but nobody has found a body or any traces of anything at this point, which tells me, and I still truly wholly believe that he's alive. And I think somebody has him. I really do.
I hope so.
And it's got to be somebody that was close to that area at that point. Okay. Welcome, Kimber. Thank you for joining us. And thank you again, SRB. So,
I think I don't know. If he got lured to the retention, if somebody said, meet me at the retention pond, I would have to think that it would be somebody he knows. I don't know why.
Or like I said, and I agree with you, but like I said as well, we know that Sebastian was, how can I say it? Like, very open and wanting to have friends. So somebody just has to be nice to him or say something to him that catches his fancy at that point. And he's like, probably like, wow, I have a friend. Okay. If somebody pulls up to that area and draws him into a car, he's gone. Did he leave the area with that person, or is he right underneath their nose in somebody's home and being hidden? That's the thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And the only problem I have, I still pray to God he's alive. That's my biggest thing. But having the problems that he possibly could have, not taking the medication that he should be taking for other things that'll cause other problems, the anxiety, people could possibly get irritated with that. And then there's another problem, if you know what I'm saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, Salty, 4 minutes away, which is that other person that it really bothers me that I hope they've been looked into deeply by law enforcement is all I'm saying. People drive around at weird times at night looking for things. People could be out just because they're out. And it just so happened, like I said, a crime of opportunity that something made him step out of that house that night, and that's all it took. So I don't know. I would love for something to break on that, and something.
Me too. This case has gotten a lot of us, because a lot of us have experience, with family members with autism, but it's tough. I pray to God he's out there, and we find out something soon, just because the longer it goes on, I'm not as suspicious of Katie and Chris as I was in the beginning. Now that you know how many skeletons they have in their closet, like, they were probably terrified that all this stuff was going to come out. So that's going to make them nervous. They have guilt for other reasons. So I I don't know.
I agree
I
with
don't
you,
know.
and that's one of right, and that's one of the reasons why I've asked time and time again, like, guys, let's wait, okay? Just wait. Let's find
Yeah.
this child. Let's find this child. And if law enforcement comes forth and they say, okay, such and such did this, such and such did that, or this person over here was doing this and that happened, okay, then we can all go ape shit on everybody. I don't care at that point, okay? And I know we
Yeah.
will. We all will, because
I won't be surprised if Katie and Chris are involved. I won't be surprised at all.
and that's whatever at that point, right?
Yeah, but if you look at her pictures, like, he was a loved little boy. For everything that we can see, you know, she's got tons of pictures of him. She took him places. Like, he wasn't. He didn't.
I'll tell you what.
Murdered.
One of the worst things for me to watch. I did it. Clue's video breaks me in half. It literally breaks my heart in half. Okay, it does her. We were both watching it in here that one day, and it just I couldn't watching him do that whole green tea thing, and then you could hear her, and you could hear the adornment in her voice.
Yeah,
you're goofy.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's not a
Yeah.
mother that doesn't like their child. I'm sorry.
right.
No,
I agree.
And just this last interview that we just watched, I don't know if you were in here yet, but it was just a short interview, and she's talking about him, and she's talking about him again. Same stuff she says in the interviews. She was by herself, and at the end,
Oh yeah, I've seen that one.
right at the end, he says, "Is there anything that you would like to say to him?" And she turns red. She starts crying a little bit, you know, trying to hold it in. I'm sure. Again, after this long, I gotta feel like this mother wants her child.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm leaning more that way every day. Like I said, I won't be surprised. Nothing surprises me much, but I can't get over this feeling that they're guilty. They feel guilt and they look guilty because of other things, not because they
Right.
murdered him.
I mean, the guilt could be because this happened, period. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, I have another theory. I'll say that. I do have another theory, and it does involve them, but it's nothing dark and nefarious. I'll put it that way. I'm not going to get into that right now until something were to pop out on that, and then I'll talk about it again. But
Right.
it still involves him being alive and being okay. And because there's other things that we've all seen and heard, facts that we've learned. You know, like I said, I agree with you. In the very beginning, when they first came out and did their first interview, I was like,
Yeah.
what's up with this guy? He seems like an a-hole, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? And then,
I think he knew that. I mean, not just the abuse stuff and his custody issues with Nina and all that stuff, but her family has a terrible criminal history. Like, they were probably afraid that knowing the internet, we were going to find all this stuff out. And they were
Yes.
probably, you know, that would explain a lot of the behavior.
I agree. And that's Brandy's comment here. I'm sus of both sides. Sorry, not sorry. That's how I feel. And I think we should all look at both sides of it anyway. Okay. That way we can see what's going on all the way around. One sec.
Thank you. All right, Dave, I'm gonna jump down and chat.
Oh, y'all, yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. All right, hon. Thank you very much for your input. I appreciate you very much. And I
Thank you for
will.
having me up. I'll be in chat. I'm not going anywhere.
All right. Sounds great. Again, thanks, Gray. I
All right.
appreciate you. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
All right. Thank you very much for that. And like I said, I feel the same way. You know, I'm not looking down on either side of the fence. I'm not wanting to attack either side of the fence. I don't dislike Seth. I don't dislike Chris or Katie. And I don't particularly care for any of them either at the same time at this moment. I care about Sebastian. I want to know where Sebastian is. That's all I care about, truthfully, guys. And like I said, if somewhere down the road, a law enforcement pops out and they say, hey, this is what we found, this is what there is, blah, 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 then we can tear into it, guys. I have no issues with that at all because I'll be right there with you. Take care, War Eagle, and thank you for being here. And that's truly the way it should be. We should have to look at both sides to understand the whole thing and then the big picture of it. We have looked at both sides of these parents. The cops have not charged them. That's the biggest point right there. If they thought something was going on with them, don't you think that they would have charged somebody at this point, or did something in that realm, detained somebody or something like that? That's just my thought. As far as that's concerned. But they have not charged them, named them suspects. I'm pissed off because Ellie is not sharing valuable information. That I agree with. And we talked about that earlier. I understand that they're holding things close to their chest. I get it for the integrity of the case or whatever's going on, but there has not been a criminal investigation started at this point that we've been told. So what are you holding to your chest and why? If you know something, then you should say something, because law enforcement themselves came out and they asked for all of our helps. All of our, how did I say that? All of our help. Yes. They did. And then they said, no, don't. Well, you can't do something like that. You can't put this child in our faces and say, please help us find him and get us all in there doing that. And then say, no, we don't need you now. It don't work that way. I'm sorry. We're human beings. We have hearts, we have feelings, and we have souls. And when we get involved in these things, we're going to be here no matter what now. So then in turn, you need to share information. And this is why I agree with Salty, that is pertinent to this so that we can calm down, so that maybe we can understand what's going on. If it's not going to hurt, because there is no criminal investigation at this point, guys. So therefore, it shouldn't hurt a criminal investigation. That's why it don't make sense to me. So thank you again for that comment, Salty. And I do understand why they don't want people out looking, okay? I explained this before. I've been involved in searches and recoveries because they don't want family members possibly, or somebody that could be traumatized, walking up on the situation, seeing this and going, oh, and falling out. I get that. But somebody's going to find him. Okay. Do you want a 2-year-old or a 5-year-old child to be out playing in the woods and find him? That would be horrific. So I don't know. I just don't know. Before getting into true crime, I never thought about Ellie, what Ellie is able to share. Now I still don't, but I care to know. Right. It's a good point, Terry. That's no longer acceptable, right? I love Salty. If we knew he was on video somewhere, we would have something. If they believe he was kidnapped, they should tell us. Bingo. If they see what they did was they really screwed with our heads by saying they're looking at anything and everything now, including foul play, which takes all of us directly to somebody did something nefarious to him immediately like that. That's not what they should do. If they know even something small, if they think, I agree, if they think that somebody abducted him, say it. We believe he was abducted. If they think he just ran away and something happened, then say it. If they think somebody on either side of the family did something, then say something. At least it leads us to understand that, is all I'm saying. That is true. I agree with that. That's a good point. Look what keeping things quiet did for Delphi. It's called transparency. Bingo. That's where we as Americans lose ground. It's a good point, Party of Five. I agree. And she says they can't ask and plead for our help and then shut us out. I agree, because we all go nuts trying to figure out what is going on and helping anyway. I swear, Salty, if I see on the news that there was a home invasion and I see your face, I know where your head's at right now. I know where your head's at. And I don't blame you, because I'd be right there with you. I'm telling you, I'd be right there with you. There is a registered an RO that is very, very close to Sebastian, okay, in that neighborhood. And we've been looking at him. Clue looked at him, I think, a while back. Salty found him and she pulled everything. And she still thinks that there's a possibility of an involvement with this. And I don't blame her, guys. And they need to look at that. I just, like I said, I don't know if they have or if they haven't, but they haven't told us. So, that's the problem. And that's why she's going insane right now, because she wants to go there and go through his house herself. And I don't blame her. I don't. They did say they checked all their homes. You know what I mean? They did say that. But just like Summer Wells, when they said, watch out for a red truck, remember? Oh my God. Yes, Leslie. Yes, it was. And that caused how much insanity? Still to this day, people are talking about that stupid red truck. And I don't think there was one, to be honest with you. Do we know if they checked out? They said that they did. They said that they did, Evie. They didn't talk about any kind of SOs at all, or RSO, but they did say that they've checked every home in the area. More than once, I believe. Absolutely, no problem. No, they still haven't found Summer, and it breaks my heart every day. And I agree with what Draw had to say about that. I really do think that it was which she says is familial trafficking, possibly. I can actually go with that theory based on what I covered that case forever, and I was deep into that case. And I'm telling you, there's some things in there that just doesn't make any sense, guys, at all. And we all know that parents will do bad things to their children, sadly. So, wasn't CP accused of SA to his cousin and his stepsister? That I don't know about. I don't know about that. I will look into that, but I don't know about that. Yes, absolutely, guys. We can't forget this either. I have this on my community page. And it's just so sad situation. Ryan Larson, 3 years this year. Not a sign of this child. And it's just so sad. It is so sad. Look at I probably am gonna do a reboot on this anyway to heat it back up so it doesn't stay cold. Just to go over it again and show you guys the story on Ryan. In fact, I am gonna do that. Thank you, Leslie, for reminding me again. Just a second. Let me write. Just a quick reboot on it to heat it back up a little bit, just to keep it out in the public eye. And we're going to be doing that on some of these other cold cases too. Like I said, just a reboot. It only takes a little bit of time to talk about it and to show everybody, because a lot of people don't know some of these cases. So that'll be coming soon. I'll just throw it in with one of my other shows and we're going to put it out there for sure. What was that, Andy? According to Sweetie, for what did I miss your first comment? Let me see. Where did your first comment go? Welcome, Kathy Lamada, by the way. Anybody else that I haven't seen or said hello to, I'm sorry. I just haven't seen you yet. Kim Holmes, welcome to you. Maxie Doodle. Norma, welcome, Norma. Miss Pamela, Polly Pepper. I said it for you. Please do not forget that we all really do not know any of these people, any of them. Sometimes what you see isn't what you get. This is a very good point, Leslie, and thank you for that. Very good point, because she's right. We don't know them at all, guys. We know them from what we see, just as much as they don't know us. But then why did it? But we don't know that that's true, Katie. If you followed that case, I did a show on that, God, almost 2 years ago, almost. And that there was an issue about that polygraph thing. Well, and I agree. So I don't know. Is Clue still in here? I'm sure that Clue, because she has talked to the Proud Feet a few times. I'm sure that she has mentioned to them about the RSO that's in that neighborhood. If not, I will remind her to say something, or I'll have Duchess. I'll talk to Duchess and have her do it. Oh, the SA claims. Gotcha, Andy. Thank you, hon. Again, guys, 234-703-4047. Please feel free to call in and voice your opinions. I love to hear from you. Welcome, sweet Melissa. Good to see you. Did they rule out a wild animal like a black bear, mountain lion? Get some enrolled? I don't think so, but I don't think that happened. Yeah, that is what was said, but there was also a conspiracy behind that because of who Dawn's cousin supposedly was or something to do it. So I don't really know what the deal is. There was a talk about that they just said that to appease them for the time. I don't know, guy. I'd have to go back to it and go back through it again. We can definitely rule out dingoes because we're not in Australia, so that's good. That's actually kind of a good point, Kim, but I can't let it go. God doesn't give us more than we can handle, and maybe we all collectively let Summer rest in peace. Candace strikes me as a force. She knows where her daughter is, and let's believe that she's dancing on clouds. You know, that's a rough way to put it in some senses, but you're right in some ways. I'll be honest with you. The dingo did it, Leslie. It was the dingo. The Cornbread Mafia. Oh my God, APRN. That case was such a mess. Such a mess. Absolutely. I hope Sebastian doesn't make his way home because his mother ain't there waiting for him. Tell me a mother that moves to another area while it's the son. I don't. Like, from my understanding, the last interview she was at home. I don't know where and when that was done and where she is now, but I don't know. Let's see. Oof. Thank you, Salty. So, this is where the RSO lives, I do believe. Long Hollow Pike Road. It's 4 minutes from, yeah, it's literally 4 minutes from Sebastian's house.
I live in Boston, and I seen you on Clue's show today, and I said hello to you.
Oh my God, I'm so excited that you called me. I absolutely adore you, Helen. I was staying in the chat. I love listening to you.
Oh, everyone thinks I have an accent, but I don't. You guys do.
I am excited to have you calling here tonight. Thank you so much for calling in. I love it. I love it.
Like I told Clue, I'm new with this, but I feel like I want to be a part of all this because I just got into true crime, and I do. I love your show, and I appreciate what you do. You're a good guy. You're doing good things for everybody. But I have right from the beginning with this case with Sebastian's parents and his stepfather, I've been very confused from the beginning, and let me tell you why. Right from the beginning, the dad, the biological dad, was confusing me with his answers. You know, when people would ask questions, so I felt like in the middle of all this, I felt like I was playing Nintendo. I was waiting for Sebastian to come out of the trees or something. That's what the biological dad made me feel like. Well, now I'm looking back at everything, and everybody's saying he's on medicine because of his shoulder. But from the first interview I seen, I feel like I'm confused because I feel like maybe he has an issue, a problem that he needs to take care of so he can't find his son. I don't think this issue is new. I think he's had it. And I think, you know, he needs help with, I'm going to say it, with drugs. I'm sorry, it's how I feel because of all the confusion I think he caused. I think he has to take care of this issue of himself before he can find his son. And I'm saying it out of my heart. I don't mean no harm out of it. It's out of my heart, Dago.
No, I understand completely. I heard you mention that earlier, and I kind of agree with you. I gotta say, you know, I don't know for a fact, but watching and seeing, and Clue showed that video today, and I heard your comments too. And I mean, I'm kind of right there in the same boat with you, Helen. I got to be honest with you.
Well, you know, I thought it was only me. I was afraid to speak my opinion like that, but there's so much help out there, and you know. And then Clue was saying he had a GoFundMe, and I think if people put money in his GoFundMe, they're enabling him. It's kind of scary.
I can definitely agree with that. Yeah, absolutely. And please, just like Clue's community, you're more than welcome to speak your mind in here as well.
I'm happy.
Yeah, absolutely. You can say whatever you need to say in here, as long as there's no victim shaming, which I know you're not doing. So
no, I'm not. I'm saying it from my heart. It's my opinion. It's from my heart.
Absolutely, and I agree. There's something there. I do feel that there's something there.
Big time.
There was another subscriber that comes in here that used to be a counselor and worked in that, and he has kind of made kind of the same, like he's seen it in that way too. I should say, Helen. So I can see where you're coming from wholeheartedly.
Yeah, and that's when the confusion came in with me, and I didn't know why. I didn't until I started rewatching him, and it's not the show that I feel like from the first interview he's had a problem. Again, out of my heart, I'm saying this.
Absolutely, I do completely understand, and I respect that wholeheartedly. I really do.
Thank you. But I mean, I didn't hear too many people talk about it, and I feel bad, and he needs to be here for his son, and treatment is out there. And my daughter, she works with women who have, you know, addiction, and the treatment is great. They have treatment everywhere. It works. If you want it, you got it.
100%. And that's there. And I think if that's the case, then that could help in some senses for that as well. Very much so.
Yes. And like I said, I didn't want to bring it up, but it's why I was confused. I thought it was like a Nintendo game. You know, I was waiting for, you know, he had the Warren, he had the Texas Rangers, the Armies, and he's telling people you can't go there, you can go there. And it was really messing my mind up.
I agree. It was like, what was that game? Pong, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
I felt like I was playing Nintendo in the 80s with my little kids when they were babies.
Exactly. I agree with that. I do.
And that's why I started voicing my opinion, because I felt like I needed to. I got involved with this case, you know, with you, and, you know, you especially too. And I just feel it's confusing because of that. He started the confusion.
Agreed. I do agree. And it shouldn't have been like that ever, because it got, like I said, on one hand, everybody's like, okay, we're all here to do this and that, and we're all behind you. And then everybody go home. Well, what are you told? What? And it got, everybody was confused. I agree wholeheartedly.
And now what about now? I mean, what, are they looking for Sebastian now? Or I don't know what's going on.
I don't think nobody does, because we haven't seen anything. They're talking about, you know, this and that, but I don't think anybody has seen any searching going on. I don't think anybody has heard anything about anything like that. And that makes me wonder, do they know something that we don't know at this point? Or is it just that they don't know anything? You know what I mean?
I felt like the three of them knew in the beginning. I mean, I felt like all three of them knew something in the beginning.
Absolutely. I can agree with that too. And at some point during one of Seth's interviews, I think Cluminati agreed with me too, and Cletus said that, you know, we thought that he knew something more than what he did. And then turn around in the next video, and it was like he knew nothing. So it's very confusing. Very, very confusing.
But that's what I think. I think there's an issue there, and again, I'm saying it out of my heart that, you know, he needs to get help for himself before he can help his son.
I can agree with you. I do absolutely agree with that.
I know he loves his son. I know, I get that. But, you know, my daughter had addiction years ago, and I brought her daughter up. Her daughter's 20. I took custody of her. So I've seen the addiction, you know, what goes on. It's horrible.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. And it can cause so many other problems that don't need to be there.
Right. Like my daughter with her addiction lost custody of her daughter, and that was very sad.
Yeah, it happens all the time. It happens all the time. When I was working in EMS, in fire, I dealt with a lot of situations like that we had to be involved in where, you know, single mothers, you know, for instance, I was on one scene that had 3 small children, and thank God that the 3 or 4-year-old, I think it was, called 911. The mother was passed out. The children had to be removed. My understanding, though, is that the mother got help, now has the children, and she's living a great life. So there are options for that. You know what I mean?
Right. My daughter has been clean 10 years. My daughter, she's a drug counselor in a program for women with children. And she also went to college, and she has her master's in accounting. So they do if they want the help. It's out there. I watch my daughter. She's amazing. I cannot believe I have a son who died on drugs. My daughter lived, and I thank God every day for it.
Absolutely. God bless her. And I'm so sorry for your loss.
Yes. And I don't want nothing to happen to Seth, and that's why I'm speaking on this.
Absolutely. I do agree with you wholeheartedly, because I agree. I agree that he does absolutely wholeheartedly love his son. I do.
Yes.
But he needs to get himself together first. I agree.
Yes, and it come out saying that it was the medicine for his shoulder, but the medicine started before that with the confusion with his first interview with me. He needed to say his shoulder or whatever or something, but there you go. Oh, thank you for letting me call and say hi and let you know my feelings and everything. Oh, you're amazing, Dago. I love the way you are. You are a strong guy. You stuck with it no matter what you went through. You're amazing.
Thank you so very much, Helen. I appreciate you. And please know you're always welcome to call in, come on the panel, talking to anything. We absolutely love you here, and you're welcome at any time. So thank you.
I never went on a panel, but I might try it someday. I will try that someday. Tonight, Crew wants me to watch the Nina interview. You know, yes. Nina I'm supposed to watch that tonight. I missed that because I was in the hospital. So I don't know why Nina's in this picture.
You definitely need to watch that, and I'm curious to see your reaction. I promise you, you're going to have a reaction. I can tell you right now.
I know. I hope so. I hope it's a bad. No, I don't want to bad. I hope it's a good one. I just don't know how she fits in this and all that, but I'm going to find out tonight.
Yes, ma'am. And I like I said, I can't wait to see your reaction, and I hope you have a great rest of your night.
Hey, you too, Dago. Thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate that. I'm sorry I talked loud. I'm deaf.
No problem.
Boston loves you, Dago.
And I love Boston too. Thank you so much.
All right, Dago. Thank you. Thank you, Chad. Call you again soon. Bye-bye.
Okay. Oh, I'm super excited that she called. I love Helen. She's amazing. I love it. Now, Miss Lily, I saw some of your comments, but all I keep seeing is Dago doesn't see my comments. What are you saying, hon? What did I miss? I wasn't trying to ignore it. I saw this one. And then I guess you can't see it, but I can see that. I just don't see anything else that you were saying. What were you trying to say? I was trying to keep up with Helen there, hon. Definitely was not ignoring you at all. I promise you.
Call from. Sorry.
Hello. You are live with the Dago. How are you?
Dago, it's Terry. I was just sitting here thinking about one thing, is that if he left that house, no matter what, if he was drawn out, if he was sneaking out, whatever, whether he left out of any door, if he left out of the window, if he was barefoot and he walked, there is no way he didn't cut his feet up somehow that a dog would not snip that.
Well, here's the thing. One thing I do know, because I looked into it and was reading up on it to see, if he was barefoot, there would have definitely been a lot more of a chance that there was a scent picked up. Okay. Even then with shoes on. So that is something I'm curious about for sure. And yeah, it's very possible that, you know, rocks and things like that, he could have scratched and cut up his feet for sure. But he just, even
Yeah.
if that didn't happen, that there should have been a very strong scent if he was barefoot that they picked up on. I do agree with that, Terry.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just didn't, this whole time I keep thinking, oh, well, if he's barefoot, they're going to pick it up. I keep saying that. And I'm thinking because his skin would be touching, the ground. And then I'm like, wait a minute, it just like hit me. What? I mean, if there's no way he's got cow's feet. So, like you as Tarzan. Anyway, it just does. I can't imagine he
I
would.
can't believe you
So-
remembered that. That was hilarious. I love it.
Well, I also hear that he's in the trees. I'm like, oh, for God's sake, did you go there and play Tarzan and swing on the vines and put him up in the tree?
Nope, it wasn't me. It wasn't me.
No, but still, it's like, wait a minute. There is no way after looking at all that ground and the rocks and sticks and that he would not have blood on.
It's possible.
ground.
Yeah, very possible. I'm still confused. I'll be honest with you, Terry. I'm still very, very confused about the whole scent thing with the dog and the dog in the pond and the pond itself and all this other stuff, because we heard audio multiple times. We listened to it. We were around it. We listened to it here. We listened to it in Clues channel. We listened to it multiple times, and still they're telling us that there is no scent. I don't get it.
Exactly. And then you add on top of that, that somehow somebody put that mannequin back there. I mean, that's not like a tree growing up, So who put that back there? You know what I mean?
That's a very strange scenario. That's the second one. Okay, because there's one that Clue and Cletus told us about a month ago. They were driving down the road and thought they saw somebody in the one barn up in the window, and it was a mannequin. So there's
Right.
that. And then now we have the one in the woods. Like, what is going on with this? With the woods, I don't understand the mannequins. I do
Somebody
not.
had to put it there unless a mannequin now walked. I don't know. I mean, I'm starting to believe anything's true.
I mean, people do weird things. I do get that. It could have been, somebody said a while ago that it could have been put there to like scare animals away from that area, things like that. Maybe, I don't know,
Well, that's great, but who did it? Somebody had to put that back
Good
there.
point. Very good
Did
point.
they take fingerprints on it?
That's
And
another.
here's another thing. Did they go up to that barn where Clue and Cletus said that they saw a mannequin? And did they go to that spot and take fingerprints and see if that mannequin was still up there?
That's another great point, Terry. Very good point. I agree with you. Those things should be looked into because they're not. It's not a normal situational scenario,
Well, I just remember that at the beginning, I don't know if it's because it wasn't a criminal case yet, but all they said was, oh, yeah, there weren't any screens on the ground, so he couldn't have snuck. What? I mean, that's the reasoning?
Yeah, I
Wouldn't he
agree.
need some
That's
sort of
not.
forensic work?
That's not a good reason. I agree.
But yeah, I mean, I just think, first of all, there has to be a reason, whether it's to keep, maybe to distract the police or whoever, or if it was, like you said, maybe to do something with animals. I have no clue. But the fact is, they should have, hopefully taken fingerprints and figured that out, because that person could very well be either part of the what happened or what happened.
I do agree. It's a very, very strange situation. I agree.
Yeah, and then they just let some guy in a do-rag and some weird vest that reflective, just go right back into the woods. I mean, why would he be out in the middle of the night going into the woods?
I have a lot of issue with that situation after hearing that on that audio, and I know you were listening too. They were talking about the 20-year-old guy that was wearing the vest, yeah. And then the officer says, I dealt with him last night. Well, why is he out all night?
I was with him last night. Like, what?
Why is he out all night long? And then he's still in this area the next day in the morning. And what is he doing here? First of all, that should be the biggest question. And why? Like
And
that's
they
very
said he was
suspicious to me.
helping look, right? So how would he know to look earlier on because they just found out about it?
Right. He's helping to look and then he just kind of runs off. What? That's so weird to me. And why was that not made a bigger deal?
It's like nothing is a big deal, apparently. I mean, for God's sakes, I guess we're taking Seth's word that he had called the school. And I mean, how would he even know which school? I mean, you have to do a little bit more research than just pick up a phone and call a school. The guy doesn't talk a lot. I mean, and asking questions.
I do agree.
So did anyone check that? I mean,
I have no idea. I haven't heard anything else about it since then, to be honest with you. I would hope that they would have looked into something that, why is this here? What's going on? What's the deal? But I haven't heard anything else about it, Terry, unfortunately.
and also about have you heard, besides Seth saying he did it, about the school? Has the school confirmed that he actually did call them and enroll him?
Yeah, I brought that up earlier. I seen you had said something about that in Clues chat too, that he himself stated that he had already had Sebastian enrolled for school for next year, that he was keeping him on a permanent basis. And okay. And so at that point, I don't think, because I even looked into after you stated it, I looked into it, and I don't think, unless you're a parent or legal guardian, that you can find out anything like that. Clue said that she might know like a backdoor version of a way to look into it. So I don't know. I just don't know. I would love to know if that's true, because that would state, yes, he was taking him on a full-time basis, which could lead to something else as a option and a thought as to what could have happened in some ways. You know what I mean?
Well, exactly. That's why I'm saying, hopefully the law enforcement is able to ask that question and get to, hopefully they ask the question. But
absolutely,
there's so many questions that have happened that we've had. It's like, I know they can't tell us a lot, but if it's a criminal, some stuff is going to start coming out, right? I mean, if we're just even talking about it, maybe they happen to be listening, law enforcement, and it will give them ideas to go, follow through on a lot of things.
Well,
because I feel like you're doing a good job.
My understanding is that it has not been actually classified as a criminal investigation as of yet.
Really?
But from my understanding, it has not been yet. I don't understand why. I don't get it, but that's not my job. So you know what I mean? I don't know how that works. It should be, but because as soon as when they said that they're looking into all options, including the possibility of foul play, that it would instantaneously make me think that they would automatically flip into a criminal investigation at that point, but it hasn't. So I don't get it, guys.
What do they have to do to make? I mean, they have to find him.
I think they have to find something that would lead them to believe that there was a crime committed, and that's what they haven't found yet.
They have to do something to get to that point, though, right? I mean, they're going to have to, in order to find that. Don't you have to start doing the fingerprints and start doing the, the dogs and? They have to be doing things.
We've had some conversations about, people have asked, did they go into the Proudfoot's home and did they do any forensics? Did they do this here? Did they do this there? They went through the home multiple times, we understand, but from my understanding, and I don't know if this is fact, just from what we've heard through interviews, that they have not done anything like that because it has not been classified as a crime yet. And that's what I don't understand. If you're going to come out here and say to us that they're looking at all options, including and not just, or how'd they put it? I can't remember, but including the possibility of foul play. Correct me if I'm wrong, but wouldn't that classify it as being able to be looked at as a criminal investigation at that point?
Right.
That's just a thought I have. I'm probably wrong, but that's how I feel about it.
Well, I don't. But do you see what I'm saying? I mean, okay,
I do.
fine.
I do.
They have to find this stuff, but that means that they have to go out and look for it. I mean, it's not going to just pop in their lap. So
now,
they're saying that they can't do this because it's not yet a criminal investigation. But how do you make it a criminal investigation?
One thing
that find things if you're not looking for it.
Right. And one thing you got to remember too, Terry, is we don't know exactly what they are doing. They're
Yeah.
not showing us anything. So they very well could be doing all these things with us not knowing about it, in turn to try to find out what is going on. And then something's going to pop up down the road and they were doing this the whole time. We don't know. So we do kind of got to sit back and watch and just hope that something's going to come out of it. Do you know what I'm saying? And I see that's what my thought was too, Carolyn. An endangered person, which is what that was classified as at first before the Amber Alert went out, should be classified as such to criminal inquiry. I do agree with that wholeheartedly. So, but again, going back to that, Norma's right. There has to be something showing a criminal act has occurred for it to become a criminal investigation. And thus far, they have not found anything that they would classify as a criminal act. And that's what is sad. That's where I think some of these things need to be changed, especially when it comes to a child. Do you know what I mean? I think certain things should be implemented immediately. Protocol needs to be changed for that, and it just needs to be put in place, period.
Yeah, absolutely. There's too many kids that we're never going to hear anything about. You're not going to see flyers because they only do that for the Amber Alert kids.
Yeah, and you gotta, it's like twisting arms to get an Amber Alert, and as it is. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
and I do know that I've heard them say that they went through the Proudfoot's house 10 plus times, and they have searched it up and down, inside and out, crawl spaces, everything. So
even their like secret. I heard that on another T-Rep. I think a caller called in, and she was an attorney, and she said that, by the way, they have a secret room, and I thought she said it was in his room, just like my house. I noticed it right away.
what?
So
I never heard that. That's new.
Yeah, that's what it was. T-Rep. It was like a week or two ago, and it was a call-in that was an attorney, and she said that at the very end. By the way, you might want to know that I see it. And you can go kind of like a panic room. So anyway, I will let you.
That's probably what it is like a panic room. Then, if it's a secret room, a lot of houses have those now. So
that's all they're doing.
Yeah.
And I did have one more thing.
Sure.
After hearing today how young she was, Katie was when she met Seth, was 14. Is that right?
Yep, that's Katie stated via what Duchess said that she was 14. Cluminati stated that she was told by Seth himself that Katie was 12. Yeah, I have questions about that now too after hearing that today. Very many.
I'm wondering if Seth didn't. There's a high probability, and I'm not saying that Seth doesn't actually love, as he says, his son. I mean, that's fine. I'm not, but there's a very high probability that the reason that Seth moved there wasn't because of Sebastian. It almost sounds like it was because he's not going to ever let Katie have a life again.
It's very possible because I've had a lot of people, I've heard them claim that their opinion of it, not that it's fact, but their opinion that he is maybe having trouble letting go and never has of that situation in the relationship, which, we don't know. But that is a possibility, Terry. It's a very good point.
Yeah. Well, anyway, there's so many things that you're doing a great job, and thank you. And let's just find this boy. Okay?
Thank you so very much, and I agree. Amen. Team Sebastian, we need to find him and bring him home. Thank you so much for calling again, Terry. I love it. Bye-bye. All right. Great calls today, guys. I appreciate you and your input. But there's a lot of questions we all have. Welcome, Golf. Thank you for joining me. I'm so sorry it took so long to talk to you.
I didn't want to interrupt. I love Terry. I don't want to interrupt.
Yes. Welcome. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you. I actually jumped on because I happened to catch another show, another creator had on Sunday, and it just like blew my mind.
Okay.
What she put forth. And it's J for Justice. And I'm
Okay.
going to put a link here for you. And what she did, she's really good at, I would say, Photoshop and anything photo related. And she actually lightened up that footage of the flashlight.
Okay.
Remember that? And I always said, like, there's one thing I trust in all this process, and that's the dogs.
Yeah,
But going
yeah,
back
yeah.
to that, because those dogs don't lie. I mean, they don't have the capability.
I
So
can agree.
what happened there really? And I have to say what if you I hope you can play it here.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah. I'll just
she
drop
won't
it.
mind.
I don't not when it comes to this. I don't think so. And we'll put her link down in the chat.
Yeah.
Again, guys, we're gonna check this out, and this comes from J is for Justice. If we can drop her link, or actually, I can probably do it here real quick. Hold on a second.
I think
Yep. Okay, 1 second here. There's the link, guys. Please check it out. I've watched Jay's stuff quite a few times, and
mhm.
she does a great job.
Yeah, like when it comes to Photoshop, and let's just ignore all the, like I think this party is guilty of that party because there's too much discussion around that. Let's just bring it back to like, let's try to find this kid, right?
100%. Yes, ma'am.
And so I was thinking about that. Like this is, and I don't see anybody else bring this up. And I'm like, I got it. I got to share this if people haven't seen it already,
Yeah,
because
I haven't got a chance to check it out. So thank
yeah, it's a few minutes in, and what she does, she lightens it up, that footage, and it's actually an aerial view of
Okay.
the neighborhood, which is interesting.
Awesome. Let's
So
see.
if you go in,
About right there, it looks like it starts there.
yeah.
All right, awesome. I appreciate this. Let's check it out, guys. And thank you again. This came from uh YouTube channel creator Jay is for Justice. She does a great job with this stuff. Guys, go over, check it out. Give it a little subscribe or a like if you can, please. At least like the video. I would really appreciate that, as would she. She's a hard worker and she puts that work in. So let's show the respect there. Thank you. All right, let's check it out and see what she's got going on here. Make sure I'm at the beginning of it too. Right about here.
Because the investigation remains ongoing.
And so it could play a role down the road depending on developments?
We don't know what we don't know. So yes, it could play a role.
Okay, so this is the longer video that he put out. We're just going to let this play. Then I have some screenshots after this we're going to look at. I'm telling you, y'all are going to shit. You're going to shit your pants.
Diarrhea of the mouth.
Yeah, I mean, garbage trucks have blinkers. They have freaking lights all over the motherfuckers. They're not two sets of headlights. Come on now. And these lights are so far apart. How is it a fucking truck? And I'm sure other people have gone over this footage and they're experts and they know what the fuck they're talking about. This is just me finding this today. So don't gaslight about someone did this, that. I don't know. All I know is I saw this shit today and I'm like, I got to go live and show you. Wait till I put it in perspective. Y'all are going to shit. Oh my gosh. Okay. So here is the first screenshot. Okay. So this is, do you see this little box?
La, la, la,
Okay.
la, la.
I know y'all can see that. Can you see the box around? Let me get my pointer. Hold on. I'm going to have to point. I have to point this out because everyone's going to be like, it's not, I don't see it. So just get it out now. Meow. And thank you guys who are here chatting. I appreciate you. Okay, here we go. All right. So if you look here, this light doesn't change too much. Okay. Let me just hear me out. And then if you look in this area, as I go through these screenshots, you're going to see, as I lighten the whole thing, you're going to see a box. Okay. So be looking in that area just to give you an idea. And this is why I put in the title, Hear Me Out. Okay, now let's go to the next one. Now, do you see where that box is? I mean, it's so vague. But see the box? Okay. So now we have this box. We have this box here. This is the regular video. Okay. This is this lightened up. This is the same scene.
Wow.
Except I lightened it up and tweaked it. And then when I tweaked it, it created this scene, which looks layered, right? Like you have trees. It almost looks like you're looking from the top down. Does it not?
That's an aerial view.
Does
Correct.
that not look like an aerial view? Like maybe a Google Earth satellite or some shit?
It sure
like
does.
captured that image?
Mm-hmm. So basically, somebody said she backtracked on it
Because that
yesterday.
spot lightened up, that whole box. It wasn't there in the first one. And I'll play the video again for you. Yes.
But you can tell that that's aerial.
So now
Yes.
if you go back, look, see, you can barely see that box. And then you see where Nick has superimposed the actual aerial view on top in another part of the video. Okay. So he's like covering up something in that video. Because if you look at that or drone, I don't know why someone would be droning at 3 a.m. though. So look at that. And then look at this. It's the same fucking picture, except it's darkened. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go a step further. Okay. Let's go back to the actual video and I'll show you. Look, we'll play it again.
No. So yes, it could play a role.
This is just the plain old video. Okay. So let me pause it on the actual video. I will go into my tools on my OBS and I'll lighten it from there. It looks like The Simpsons. No, it looks like that aerial view, but it's weird. It's a satellite view. It's definitely not a garbage truck, y'all. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. All right. So if I take this as the original video, you just saw me playing it, right? Let's take our, oh, that's too much. Let's turn the brightness up.
Oh, I see. Cluminati is here. This is what I was talking about.
Something weird with
Cluminati.
this, y'all.
We need to see where those lights went. If they went over roads or if they went over the actual neighborhood. Because if those lights, the other two, the subject 2 and subject 1, they go into like between houses. That's not a garbage truck. Do you
Yeah.
agree, Dago?
I mean, if that's an aerial view and it lines up like she said, yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's definitely weird that it lines up like that. I'll say that much. And it's
I was
definitely
trying to catch Clue's attention on this because she was out and about yesterday, and I was like, "Oh, I'll go over there and see if because if we can pinpoint, because I do believe that's an aerial view, right?"
It looks like it. It sure does
Right?
look like it. And like Clue just said, like if they're flying drones over here, that's crazy that they're doing that at 3 a.m. Come on.
I mean, if you think about it, the Secret Service was involved in this, so this probably came from them. Let me just say
It
that.
very, very possibly could have.
And I do believe this is an aerial view, and she might have backtracked on it, but as she's lighting this up, you can actually start seeing the neighborhood here, right? And if you superimpose the map that she put up there in a little while, you'll see, what I'm talking about.
Sure. Okay.
You can run that
I'm not
fast.
saying I've got it figured out.
What'd you say, hon?
Like you can run that in fast mode or something like that.
Okay. Hold on.
But I'm looking for you guys to give me some input because I think this could be an overhead. And I'm wondering what in the F these big lights are over here. But I'm going to show you on the map where this exactly is too. So let's do this again. Y'all, I was freaking out. Okay, where did that video go?
Because
Okay.
with this, we can rule out if it's, you know,
That's what the video.
garbage truck or not.
Fuck, where'd it go?
See, they're saying that this video came from before he was even known to have gone missing. So I don't know, but this is definitely interesting the way she's doing this. I'll say that much.
I mean, this was released as the night of.
Right, and then there was talk that Nick Barris had done a lot of foodling with this video for putting it that way. But this
For
is
what
I've
purpose?
never,
Yeah, for
I
what
don't
purpose?
know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Other than like views, maybe. I don't know. That's my thought, but we'll see because this is interesting.
There's no overlay in this one, but look at how it's black. And I'm going to show you that black spot is where their effing house is. And Christina, you're fine to believe that. I don't think it's a nothing burger. I think there's more to it. I'm not saying Seth is lying. Seth is not cleared, right? Everybody's a suspect. They're not going to tell him anything. I don't know why you guys think that Nick Barris would lie. That's what I want to know. Why do you think Nick Barris would lie? What reason would he have to lie? He's got no reason to lie. So anyways, let's move on. I'm going to show you some more.
Mention also that Nick Barris brings this footage up to the police officers when he's having a conversation.
Oh yeah, he had.
Yeah,
He
so
did.
this is definitely legit. Is all I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Filter. Y'all crack me up. You guys are a tough crowd. You're a tough crowd. Well, I mean, he may know the truth, but maybe they said, hey, don't say shit because we aren't sure who these people are yet. We still have to figure out, because Chris Proudfoot didn't call 911. He called the sheriff's department directly. So guess what? There's no location for Chris Proudfoot. So they have to put all this shit together. And Chris Proudfoot says, proudly, this is going to be a case they're going to study. It's got them stumped. He's proud.
I'm flung.
What media lied in Idaho, though? Crime and conspiracies. I'm just wondering, what motive does Nick have to lie? He's been trying to get Chris Proudfoot to talk to him, to raise awareness about his missing stepson. Chris Proudfoot won't go near anybody with a penis. Seth did say it was a garbage truck. I heard him say it, but it doesn't mean that he's been told facts. Or it doesn't mean that he's going to divulge. Just because he's on YouTube doesn't mean he's going to divulge every fucking thing he knows. This is still his son. It's more than a YouTube show. Okay. It's way too coincidental on the same night. I agree. I mean, it's ludicrous to think it's not relevant. So the next thing, hold on. Let me get off this video. Let's go to these screenshots again. Okay, now you see that? Right? We're all on the same page. This is just brightened up. This is Nick's video brightened up. And we can see the little box. But in the regular video, that little box is hidden. It's hidden because they darkened it. So they darkened it. And then if you lighten it, voila. There it is. And then here is another section of Nick's video with the freaking overhead that you see here.
And check where
Now
the
we're gonna
lights
go
are going
here.
towards the retention pond. The subject 1 and 2 are going towards the retention pond.
Right,
Just
right.
saying.
No,
So
I mean, this is crazy. I never saw it like this before.
yeah, she did a
Def-
damn good
definitely.
job of that. I don't
Yeah.
know why she backtracked, to be honest with you, because this definitely looks like an aerial view, And if
Right.
you, as I say, if we compare that on a map, you can tell like that's not a garbage truck route because the garbage truck would be going on the main street, right? And it looks, from the looks of it, the way the lights, subject 1 and 2 are moving, they're going through the neighborhood.
Sure. I see what you're saying.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
And we are going to look at the map. I'm telling you, y'all are going to shit your pants. I'm not done with you yet. Okay. Let's get this down here. All right. Well, I'm going to ask you, Honey Bun, in about 2 seconds, what you think that could be. So if you look here, I'm going to zoom in a second. But if you look here, okay, you see the construction site. Let's go over a little bit. The red pin is obviously the Proudfoot's house. And then you see the construction site over here. Okay, that's where the retention pond is. Now, I don't know if you guys saw the other day that narked divers on YouTube were actually searching a pond, or the retention pond, there in their neighborhood, right? And they found a ball cap that said Vivint, or Vivint, whatever that's called, Vivint, which is the home security company, right? And we all know, you know, Proudfoot Katie was working for Brinks or whatever it was. Okay. Well, I just found it a little ironic, and I was like, oh, I felt sick to my stomach when I saw the hat, and they gave it to TBI, and TBI bagged it up, or the authorities bagged it up, took it. The cap had like the snapback, and the snaps were real close together. You know, when you try to put a hat on and you have a small head, you have a little kid, and you have to put it on the last little snap. That's what it was like. It was like it was on a kid's head. And I wonder if someone didn't throw it in there after it was drained. Because Chris Proudfoot said himself, well, I don't know when you saw it, but there was a lot of runoff now. When he was talking to narc divers on the phone. I don't know when you saw it, but there's a lot of runoff now. So, could they have tossed something in there? Seth has worked security companies for years. Did you see his LinkedIn? No, I did not, KDB.
Now, I will say one thing. Not saying that she's right or that that's anything factual, but if something was thrown in there that Sebastian had worn, that would explain a dog going in there the way that it was heard in the audio. So I'll say that much, but you know, we don't know yet. So
Well, they saw footprints too, though. Don't forget.
yeah. Like I said, it goes along with the audio, and that would make some sense as to why the dog followed a scent in and there was nothing else after that, because that's what it could have been. So I do agree. That's interesting.
Thank you, Angel P, for joining. Crime and Conspiracies. The guy who found it, I watched him in a video. He held it and he said, we gave it to TBI and they bagged it. He didn't say anything about a searcher said it was their hat and they dropped it in a manhole. What? Okay. Anyways, let's keep going. So here's the overhead of their house. Okay. There's the construction. Let's bring this forward. If we look at subject 1 and subject 2, in comparison to the lights, I don't know why I made that so big. In comparison to the lights, okay? Hear me out again. Okay, there's the regular footage. There's it lightened up. Now I'm going to go back to the normal, where they
play a
show
role down the road
subject,
depending on developments.
subject 1 and subject 2. Watch.
So yes, it could play a role.
Awesome. So you see those lights, which I'm thinking might be by the house? See this person, subject 1? Where would that put subject 1, guys? Not enough room on these screens. Okay, so here's subject 1. All right. If we have the Proudfoots, remember that area that I put in yellow, which was over here on this side. And then we would have subject 1 would be going over towards Kelly Lane. And we've all heard Chris Proudfoot talk about the road that leads to the retention pond from his house. If you just go down Kelly Lane, I feel like that's where subject 1, but watch, this is so strange. Watch. And we don't know like how long of a span this actually lasts, but look, subject 1 is there for a long time in that same area. It's going near the pond, yeah. But another question I had is, what is this big light then? Down here. This one. Shit. I lost it. But anyways, what's the big light in the bottom left corner? What would that equate to? Would that equate to possibly... Hang on, I got a reference with my other screenshots. Hold on. So that big light down at the bottom, that's interesting as well. I'm not sure what that is. because it's really weird, isn't it? Well, I don't know what that would be unless, oh, snap. Is that like a reflection of headlights, guys? Hold on. I can't see the whole thing. Hear me out here. Okay, check this out, guys. Watch, okay, this is crazy. Watch the big light that we said was by the Proudfoots, and then watch the top light versus the bottom light. It looks like headlights reflecting, doesn't it? But then it stops. Or is it just out of the frame? So whose headlights are those at 3:10 in the morning? There's no street lights. Nick said not one street light in that area.
You're awesome.
Do y'all think that that's a reflection of headlights?
You don't hold a camera.
And did Katie, this is my question. So here's a little theory I have. Here's a theory I have. Did Katie lock Sebastian out of the house? And is Sebastian actually subject 1? Is Sebastian subject 1? Because it's there, the person's there for a while, and then subject 2 comes after them. Right? So then subject 2 is in that same area. It's weird. And listen to what Chris Proudfoot says again.
Is TBI Newslink has released a statement from law enforcement, between local law enforcement, state law enforcement, some federal law enforcement, and they have analyzed that video so many times over that everything that everybody is trying to assume is a flashlight, I hate to say this, it's not. As much as we...
And mind you, I put them side by side because I wanted to see her face while he's talking and his face while she's talking.
Hold on, I want to hear. So,
love it to be one.
Stop that for a second.
Yeah.
Clue. You think this is still a garbage truck? I would love to know why. Sorry I couldn't follow the chat.
I don't know. It's interesting what she's doing, but I don't see it. I don't.
What do you mean?
Well, the lights are bigger. If we're looking down, if this was an aerial view, the lights are coming off. If that's what that is, the lights are coming off to be bigger than the houses. So that's something I'm just kind of like,
But that could be a reflection of anything. But let me just tell you, if you're looking at that, of course, it's an aerial view. What else would it be? Because how would you see the other 2 flashlights go? That's not from a side view. Are you thinking it's a side view? Because that's not a side view.
I don't know, because I think that, and the biggest part of it, and nothing against you, Golf, obviously, because
No,
I appreciate it.
I don't take it personally. I thought this was interesting.
I know it is interesting what she did and the way it kind of lines up. I think law enforcement would have said, or they would have, like, they have the FBI look, or the Secret Service looking at stuff like this, and I think they would have themselves would have said, okay, this is boom, 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 whatever, so on and so forth. I can't. It doesn't match up to me. I don't know. I don't mean it disrespectful. It's interesting to watch and how she did all this. It just doesn't fit for me. That's all.
Well, so here's the other thing is this is supposedly, okay, the camera was stuck. Whoever took this footage, which show just the view of the, without any sound. I'll show you what I mean. If you show just the footage of the flashlight video. I just want to see, like, to put it into perspective, how would it be a side angle as opposed to a aerial angle?
You mean back here, or
even before, just a regular without it being brightened up?
Okay. Right there?
Yeah, somewhere. Somewhere there. I don't think I have a copy. Just want to see, like, how would you put that into perspective? Aerial view versus side view.
Here's the thing, though. When we first watched this is why, one of the reasons why I can't follow this. Clue and Cletus went into the neighborhood that night, or the night after. I can't remember exactly. She was in here earlier. I don't know if she's still in here or not. I can ask her exactly when, but they went in and the way there she is, the way the streets are lined up and all this, and Cletus explained to me how the whole thing was set up, the yard wise and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't match. It just doesn't match up. And like, that's another thing too. Like I don't think they would tell or give Seth, because Seth clearly states this is what it is. He knows for a fact, so on and so forth. I can't follow it. That's all.
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, I wouldn't think that they would tell him, to be quite fair. Let's say the
Well, I
Secret
get it.
Service.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that somebody has like a one of those drones flying over your house 24/7. No, they have cameras up in the sky that can pinpoint into certain locations. Does
Well,
it
there's
move or
satellite.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
Satellite, yeah.
They have
So
satellite views
they
and
can
stuff
tap
like
into
that.
stuff like that. I'm not saying that this is a drone flying over your house 24/7, but to be fair, I want to make sure that we look at it from like, let's see a perspective on it.
No, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was interesting to see what she was doing. I
Mhm.
just I can't follow it. That's all. I mean, no
Yeah.
disrespect intended at all to her or you for introducing it. I just don't. I don't know. It doesn't. Something just doesn't fit. And I think, didn't law enforcement actually state that that's what it was too after Steph had claimed that or before?
They never said anything about it being garbage trucks. The only person you've heard that from is from, I believe, Seth, and perhaps Katie and Chris said it too.
And
I don't know. I
yeah,
can't.
they
Yeah.
did. I
But
remember they did.
nowhere near did that come from any law enforcement official source at all. What they said, that they do not consider that part of the investigation or something, but they can't rule it out, is what they're saying.
Gotcha.
So, it is or it isn't. They're not willing to say, but they never
Right.
said verbatim that this is a garbage truck. That came from the parents for sure.
Gotcha.
And that's
Gotcha.
what I'm saying is, like, if you look at this, it's hard to imagine this being anything other than aerial. Who has a camera in the neighborhood up in the flipping sky? That's all
Well,
I'm saying.
like I said, that's why I said that was interesting that she lined it up like that. Because
Uh-huh.
once they went into the neighborhood and checked it out, they could tell me exactly where and how it was positioned.
Yeah.
And then there's a bigger view. Somebody sent me that I opened it up that shows this upper corner that we can't see here in this video.
Uh-huh.
Because Nick did not show the full video. He just showed a clip, like a portion of this.
Yeah.
And you can see where that would make some sense there, because there's actually in one of the lights, it really does. Because we went looking for the garbage trucks one night, me, Clue, and Cletus, I think it was, and with the flashing light and all that stuff, it does kind of line up to me. That's what my thought is on it. But everybody sees different things too. I can
Yeah.
understand. You know what I mean? I can.
I can't, like, the only reason I'm hesitant in agreeing with you is because I cannot look at this as anything other than an aerial view.
No, I get it, especially after showing what she showed. That's
Well,
what.
even before then, I was thinking this is an aerial view, and I always thought that was strange. Like, who has a camera in the neighborhood that has an aerial view?
Well,
If
nobody would, right?
if it's
Right.
showing the street, you would see it differently. Like, it would reflect differently. It would look totally different. Even if it was a garbage truck. So that's why I'm saying this doesn't make any sense whatsoever to me, at least, that this is anything other than an aerial view that what we're looking at.
No, I respect that. I do.
Yeah.
I just, and here's my other thing with that though, is how would Nick Barris get a satellite photo like that?
Well, I mean, did they give him that? Did they leak it to him? I don't know. I have no idea. But what
Right.
we do know is it is a genuinely coming from them, because they did make remarks on it, meaning law enforcement when I say them.
Right.
So it's not something that he made up. Now, did he clip it and use only parts of it? Possibly,
Yeah. I guess I think Gray just said that if you watch her live from last night, that it'll change your mind, I'm guessing.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I just, I just
Right.
happened to do
I
that on Sunday.
appreciate the
Uh-huh.
thought in it though. It's definitely interesting to look at it in that sense. If that was a fact, that would be crazy too, though. You know what I mean? I agree.
I mean, the way she lit that up, I was like, "Holy hell." That
Right. No,
really makes a lot of sense. So,
definitely, definitely. I agree. I
all right.
agree.
Okay. All right.
I appreciate it though, very much so. Very
Not a
much.
problem. Not a problem. If I find something else, I'll let you know.
Please do. Please do. Everything, every little thing can count. You know what I mean? You never
Ye
know.
Yep, yep. All right, I'll jump off. I'll let somebody call in.
All righty. Thank you very much once
Yeah.
again. Always appreciate
Bye.
it. Bye
Bye-bye.
bye. All right. That is definitely an interesting theory to look at. I can't put it together. It just doesn't. I don't know. I'm stuck on now because I can't. I don't know, guys. I can't fathom how they would even say that to him if that was or was not the case. You know what I mean? Thank you, Brandy. Excuse me. So I don't know. Everything's always a good idea to look at, but hold on. All right, guys. Sorry, my wife wanted to talk to me for a minute. All right. Yes, thank you very much, Golf. Appreciate the input always. Um, no, D, it did not come from there. It came from back behind through like somewhere from behind their backyard. I don't even know where did you hear that from? That it came from the house? No, no, no. That wouldn't make any sense. Um, all right, guys, 1 second here. All right. If there's anybody else that would like to call in, you're welcome to before we shut everything down. Good to see you, Linda. Absolutely, Golf. I respect your feelings on that wholeheartedly. Everybody sees things and sees things different, and I respect it all. Um, that's another thing too. Clue just made a statement that um flashlights would illuminate things in front of them. Why isn't that happening? That makes perfect sense. Especially if you're gonna come down on top of something, you're gonna see what's going on in a like a wide range because of the flashlight. Thank you a little bit and welcome. Good to have you here. That's right. And if it's an aerial view, how come we see light from the flashlight, or how come we see light from a flashlight at all? They're walking, holding them, pointing to the right. Thank you. That's what I was trying to get out, and I couldn't think of what I was trying to say because the way that looks, if you're looking down on an aerial view, it would basically be that the flashlight is being pointed towards the sky. That's how it looks. What That doesn't make sense. Both of them would be. You know what I mean? That's why I couldn't figure out what I was trying to describe, and that is it right there in a nutshell. So thank you, Clue, for making me get it in my head. In my opinion, that would be the only way that would have that look to it, because of the glare coming from the flashlight would do that instead of in front of them. And a satellite photo, see, that's the other thing I was thinking of. Satellite photo would have a different look to it altogether. And I doubt a drone would not have that range in that sense either, in my opinion. So that just doesn't fit for me. That's all. All right. Well, nobody else is calling. It's been an interesting conversation, a good talk. I hope you guys got something out of it. But no, guys, I'm gonna have to stay with on that there. I'm gonna have to stick with what I believe to begin with. I definitely don't think. Oop, hold on.
Call from Terry.
Hello, hello. You are live with the Dago.
It's Terry. I'm so sorry to call twice, but I did have one question on this whole.
You don't ever have to apologize. You call as many times as you need
Sorry.
to. What's up, Terry?
Sorry. Well, I was wondering because I saw somebody had put TikTok has a challenge, for teens to go dumpster diving now, and I was just watching it. One of the
Wait, say that.
videos.
I didn't hear that clearly. Say that again.
Okay. Somebody posted just now in the comments that TikTok has a challenge for that teens take those challenges on, and it's now dumpster diving. Okay. So real quick, here's my question. Is there like a community trash area? Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like it would look like I don't know what you would call it.
Like
a place where-
an area with a bunch of dumpsters where the whole community could go dump.
Exactly.
I don't know. I would have to. We would have to ask Clue or Cletus.
Okay.
If they do know. I know there were construction sites that have their own dumpsters at each areas for their construction garbage. So I do know that. Are you still in here, Clue? And did you hear what she said? Because that I don't know.
Okay, and I wonder if it was either the construction or the community. I don't know, but if there was, do they put lights on that?
Okay, so if
So
there
is
was
it
if there was a large area that had like in the neighborhood that had multi dumpsters in it, I would imagine there would be lights around it. But looking at the map and the stuff, I don't think there is. I think they have dumpsters only at like the construction areas, and then the garbage is picked up and it's taken away to like a garbage dump per se, a landfill. So I think each home had their own garbage disposal, and there was no extra thing other than like at a construction site.
Okay, so maybe it was a construction site with lights on it because there's no, street lights, and in fact they had lights shining on something that was like a dumpster area, right? I don't know. I'm just thinking that would. I mean, and he wants friends, and I'm sorry, whether he watches TikTok or not, they can say it till they're blue in the face. I have kids. Especially these TikTok challenges, they go viral, and as far as voices spreading it at schools.
Right. No, I know what you're saying. I do. Absolutely. It makes sense.
It would be a reason for him to jump out, and he's going to go dumpster diving. And then you said nobody likes to throw something in his head. Anything that he finds in there is going to be worthwhile.
Gotcha.
That's
Gotcha.
my side.
Rocky just said the dumpster diving in Canada on TikTok was done at night. They said it was best. Okay. Gotcha.
I'm just saying that it kind of, actually, in a weird way, kind of makes sense. I'm not saying it does, but
listen, anything like any little thing can make nothing is off the table at this point until they find this child. That's my opinion. So I understand your point, and it does make sense. It does make sense.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to get off, and hopefully you can say something and prove me wrong.
Okay, that
bye.
sounds great. Thank you again so much, Terry. All right. Well, I appreciate it. And yeah, anything is possible, guys. We don't know anything. That's why anything is possible. Except and I don't mean it disrespectful at all. I don't believe that is an aerial photo. I just can't. And again, I don't want to come off mean or hurt anybody's feelings. I just can't see it that way. Jay does what she does. She does a great job, but that just does not match for me at all, guys. I can't put that together. But I appreciate the work she puts into it, and I appreciate Golf Inspector having us check it out just to look at it. Every little bit helps, so you never know. but it just does not work for me. That's all. So, all right, guys. Well, I think that is going to do it for tonight. It is 8:15. I've been here 3.5 hours almost, and I think that's going to do it. Hopefully, I will be able to be here earlier in the day tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Does anybody have anything else they want to throw at me before we break it down for the night? Let me see here. Let's go back and make sure I'm not missing anything. Yeah, that's exactly how they did it. The garbage, you take it down to the end of your driveway, set it off to the side the same way we do it here too, and they pick it up the next morning. Speaking of which, tonight's garbage night. That reminded me. Thank you, Cat Lady. I appreciate that very much. Unfortunately, Pamela, that is correct. And I'm hoping that in some way or shape or form that we will be able to figure that out soon. I really hope. All right, then, guys. I appreciate you guys very much, as always. And I appreciate everybody's input and their time. You guys are amazing. And I hope you all have a great rest of your night. And I will see you all very soon. Don't forget to love yourselves and to love each other. Don't change anything about yourselves because you guys are the beautiful people. I'll see you soon, folks. Much love to you all. Good night and God bless. Bye-bye.